WrestleMania season rolls on. Welcome back to another classic watch-along. Tonight, traveling back to 1996, I was living in my first ever apartment by myself, on my own, watching this show way back when, 29 years ago now. Jesus, man. Iron Man match time. Hope you guys are having a great day. Happy Sunday to you. We weren't here last week because we had to watch very disappointing Dynasty. Hopefully, WrestleMania 12 will be a little bit better than that. And, of course, kind of a small card here because these are the days of the 2-hour and 45-minute pay-per-views that WWE always had the time limit on. And when you're dedicating an hour of that to one match, it doesn't leave room for much else. So I think we got 6 total matches here. Got Savio and Austin, Triple H and Warrior. We got Diesel and Taker, the Backlot brawl, Iron Man match, and something else I'm forgetting. That opener, I think, with like Camp Cornette and whatnot. So I haven't watched this pay-per-view in a long time. I've gone back and watched the Iron Man match a couple of times, in my life, but I don't think I've ever sat through WrestleMania 12. I still have the original recording with the free-for-all, complete with the blow-off to the Billionaire Ted skits with Huckster and Nacho Man and all that stuff. And then I think on the pre-show, on the free-for-all, you had the Body Donnas picking up the tag team titles. So we had a lot going on around this time. Scott Hall, Kevin Nash on their way out. Mark Mero on his way in, along with the Ultimate Warrior and Mankind. Warrior, Mark Mero, and Mankind would all make their debuts within 24 hours of each other as Diesel, Razor Ramon, and Razor Ramon would head on out. And then shortly after that, so would Piper, and Brett would leave right after the show as well for the whole summer. So interesting times. I remember them fondly and excited to watch this one tonight. This will not be our final WrestleMania watch-along of the season. Thursday night, we got a doubleheader on Thursday. Predictions, and then I think I've scheduled it for 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific. We're going to watch WrestleMania 1. It's only a 2-hour show, 2 hours, 15 minutes. We're going to watch that late night on Thursday night. I've finally started putting up links. So if you check my channel today, you will see tomorrow's watch-along link. You will see the predictions link, the WrestleMania 1 link, and the Hall of Fame watch-along link. I still got to put up SmackDown's review and Night 1 and Night 2 of WrestleMania. Those are still coming, but the links have finally started hitting the channel now for the week because it's going to be a busy one, so just kind of keep all that in mind. Hope you guys are having a great day. I want to thank everybody who hung out with us for over 3 hours last night on the big 15th anniversary podcast. We talked about a lot of stuff, and thank you to everyone who was here, who chimed in, who donated, who sent nice messages. It was a lot of fun. And I'm happy that I don't have 4 pages of notes to have to read and talk about. I'm ready to chill. I have gotten an opened cold one here today, and I'm ready to sit back and travel back to 1996 in a show that happened right up the road for me in Anaheim. I've actually taken the train up there before to see Red Wings and Ducks game, so I've been to the pond. And they would be back 4 years later for WrestleMania 2000, WrestleMania 16. Let me just do some quick shout-outs here. While I'm doing that, head on over to the Peacock. Of course, you're going to want to find WrestleMania Season 12, Episode 1. According to Peacock, the runtime is 2 hours, 48 minutes, and 3 seconds. And as usual, in just a few minutes, we're all going to hit play together. Once we do that, the timer right below me will begin to run. That way you can just sync up. If you have any ad interruptions or commercials or anything like that, you can use the timer to sync back up. I have killed ads on this video. I also killed the ads on last night's podcast. Forgot to tell you all of that. So last night's podcast was presented ad-free as this watch-along. I'll try to do that for all the classic watch-alongs here. So at least YouTube won't interrupt you with anything. And let's get some shout-outs done, and then we'll start this pay-per-view. Good to see Melissa, Jay Lambo, Shane, Tatanani, Colin Wright, Brandon McNeil, Crazy JJ, 26, Mike Rouse, Brandon Barnes. We got George Morris in with his token 5. Hey, Greg, how are you doing? How was Tito and Elizabeth? Congratulations on 15 years. WrestleMania 12, 10 out of 10. Looking forward to your videos this week. It's going to be fun. I'm sorry it's not as loaded as a week as it was last year. I mean, we were doing I had, guests on and all of that. This year, I pretty much just wanted to have a loaded WrestleMania week and just kind of upload a short every day on the WrestleManias. I'm a little bit behind. I'm 2 behind. I uploaded 33 today. I'll hit 34 and 35 tomorrow, and then I'll catch back up, and we will have WrestleMania 40 hitting the channel on Friday, right before the big show. So it's going to be a big week. Make sure you just stay tuned to the channel, and right at the top of my YouTube page, I've got the the latest content tab. So all of my links will kind of be posted there in order right at the top of the page, so you don't have to go searching through it or anything like that. Just right at the top, the very first playlist you see is going to be all the current stuff we are going to be doing this week, including this here pay-per-view watch-along, WrestleMania 12. Looking forward to getting this one started. Tito and Elizabeth, as always, George, are doing great. I don't have an eye on Tito. He's around here somewhere. Elizabeth is doing good. She's out hiking right now. She hikes, 7 or 8 miles a day, and she carries weights. Homegirl is strong. She can bench press me. It's insane. You should see her calves. You know how The Rock wears his boots and he's got that like cutout in the back to make room for his calf? She needs those. Strong woman. Joe Brill, good to see you. Ronnie, my boy, welcome back. Ajax Johnson. Jocko Johnson might be the coolest name ever. No, this is not the Pamela Anderson WrestleMania. We just watched that one a couple of weeks ago. WrestleMania 11 is where all that took place. JJ Leg, Ben Espinoza, We Are Pro Wrestling, good to see you. Gold Standard in the house as well, just Smitty. We got my boy Ryan Adams, Super Chat leader. We got Shoot Studios, what's up? Zane G, Mike Games version 1, only for 90 minutes. You got to work tonight. Damn, and you're in Youngstown, Ohio. So holy shit, it's already 8 o'clock, so you're going into work at 9:30. We will try to get this pay-per-view started so you can at least catch everything up until the Iron Man match. Welcome back, Michael Kumo, Domo 1997, Victor Colon, Hellfire Kai. Let's see. Surge, Ryan Dempsey, also here. Ray Fran, did I get you? Alan Carter, good to see you. DJG, Spartan Sprinkles, we've got Kevin. We also have Josh Sanders, Jay Richter, The Juliet. Ryan Adams has got 5 for us. Thanks for that, my friend. NBA playoffs are set. My Wolves taking on the Lakers in the first round. Pistons versus Knicks first round. Yeah, I think the Pistons have a chance to upset the Knicks. I really do. And your Wolves taking on the Lakers. Yeah, by the way, thank you, Minnesota. Thank you for the Lakers. Thank you for sending them here because they used to be there. Marner fan 94. Appreciate that. Thank you for coming in. Let's see. Burnsy 116. I almost started losing my place, so I want to make sure I try to hit everybody here before we hit play. Paul Sherrick, right on. Good to see you. Lee, the autistic Lego fan, right on. Welcome. We also have Burnsy 116 dropping in $10. Aw, Shucky Ducky, quack, quack, love your videos. Thank you for that. Shucky Ducky, we are in the pond tonight for WrestleMania 12, where the Ducky Ducks play, right? Not the Mighty Ducks, but just the Ducky Ducks. Zach Pauget is in the house as well. Everybody else that's chiming in, thank you. Welcome so much. Thank you so much, and welcome to the watch along. Let's get this party underway here so I am not keeping you guys up too late because you are going to be seeing a lot of my bald ass this week. You're going to get me again tomorrow night. We're going to be here for the Raw watch along. We'll stick around for a review. Outside of the shorts, you won't get me on Tuesday or Wednesday, but then you're getting me for a doubleheader on Thursday, a doubleheader on Friday because we're going to do SmackDown and the Hall of Fame. That's right. Late night Hall of Fame watch along Friday night. And then you're going to get me 5 hours plus on Saturday and Sunday. So the image of me will be burned into your brain until the end of time by the time this week is over. All right, guys, let's get over there to the Peacock. Let me get my fingers queued up here, get it ready on the timer. I think it was 2 weeks ago I botched it, right? I'm not going to botch it today. All right, finger on the timer, finger on the trigger, finger on the play button. All right, I am all synced up and ready to go. If you guys are, we're going to go 3, 2, 1, play, okay? As usual. Let me just make sure. Just want to make sure. I hate botching it. All right, I'm ready to go. Locked and loaded. 3, 2, 1, play. Okay, I did it. Oh, these old WWE voiceovers. I gotta clean my mouse. I got like food bits on my mouse. I gotta clean that. What's interesting is this original voiceover is Todd. It's Todd Pettengill doing this, not this dude. At least I think. Pretty sure Todd did this. There was some other video packages that Todd voiced that after he left, they revoiced with Michael Cole. Can't remember which ones, but it happened like a couple times. By the way, WrestleMania 12, VHS. There we go. Look at Jake. You got Jake on the back of this thing. What a joke. See, I want to have the candle and the tape in. Oh, there in the view. So there we go. Now I got them both. That's better. All right, WrestleMania. Only a couple of years left of this WrestleMania theme, and they would move on from it, I believe. And it would become Linda McMahon's theme. Like I said, I went to one hockey game there, and I had a blast with a bunch of my friends. I got so hammered. There's like a Red Wings bar right outside the Anaheim Pond where just like Red Wings fans go, so we rolled up in there. It was pretty awesome. Look at Vince all excited. See, it has a much better vibe already than WrestleMania 11, doesn't it? Was the Staples Center built yet? In 96? Or was it still the Forum? This is the year Kobe got drafted, I believe. My God, this entire team is deceased. I did like Vader's music. It went hard. Especially when he was like, not a joke yet. Like here, he just came in. The next night on Raw is where he would attack Gorilla Monsoon. I think he needed surgery. He kind of look at how big. Ugh. You know, he wouldn't always be that big. By the time we got to 1998, Vader was not. He did not have that bulk to him. Like he still looks like Vader, like the Vader we know here, like Japanese Vader, WCW Vader. He still looks like that here. But by the time we got into 97 and 98, it all went away or something. The aura. Isn't that what the kids say today? Aura? The aura was gone. I can smell that mask. This was the first time, the second time this year alone, because they did the Raw Bowl. But one of the very, very rare times WWE had shit on the mat. They had the WrestleMania logo on the mat. What was interesting about this, too, like back in the day watching this on my little 19-inch Magnavox TV, I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell that there was more than the WrestleMania logo on the mat. I just thought it was the one big logo in the middle. You couldn't tell on TV that there's a bunch of little mini WrestleManias all over the mat. You can't tell with the standard definition back then. And I didn't know that until I got this. When I got my plaque from WrestleMania 12. And the mat part of it right here, it looked like it had WrestleMania lettering. I'm like, oh, I must have gotten part of the middle of the ring. And then when I look at the picture closely, I can see all of the other WrestleManias on the mat. I couldn't see that in 1996 on a standard definition TV. Now HD, you can see a pimple on fucking Davey Boy's ass, but you couldn't even tell that all those WrestleManias were there. You can kind of see it on here, but it was impossible to tell back on the old TVs. Anyway, my WrestleMania 12 plaque. It is number 2888 of 4800. Signed by Shawn Michaels. There's my Eddie Guerrero shimmy. Yoko and Vader, they would be involved in each other's Rumble eliminations. Look at Ahmed. I had high hopes for Ahmed in 96. I was like, oh, this guy means business. I think Goldberg is what Vince wanted Ahmed to be. Oh, God, Ahmed's going to launch. God. Honestly, I really do like everybody in this match. I was a big Jake fan. Of course, I adore Owen and Davey. And I liked Ahmed. I liked Ahmed in 96. Like, it was kind of sad that it never worked out for him. He just didn't... man, WWE needed some guys. And when he debuted at the Survivor Series, I remember seeing him for the first time. I'm like, holy shit. Ain't nobody in the locker room going to fuck with him. Look at this. Vince voice is just... There's very few things more annoying than Vince voice. Ahmed and the Jack. No, Jake is alive. Oh, I thought you said that. Oh, Ahmed, I see, because you're saying Jack. Jack Doan is a referee. That's who I thought you meant, Doug Unfunny. So Jack, Jake, and Ahmed are still with us. Everyone else has passed away.
Yokozuna down on the canvas. And naturally, Vader tagged back in. Vader is actually the legal man back in. Come on, ref, get over.
Is there a stip in this? Is this the match where it's like 5 minutes with Cornette? I think Camp Cornette wins this. I actually can't remember. Zane G, appreciate that, man. Very nice of you. Thank you for the 20 bucks. I've been doing a lot of personal thinking since your health scare PSA video, as I use your videos as an escape as I'm through a scare in my personal life, so I'm using this time to rebuild myself. I hear you, man. I absolutely hear you. That's what you got to do. You know, that's if I wanted to do anything in that video, it was just to say, just go get yourself checked out, because you never know what's wrong with you. And I'm glad that we found what was wrong with me. Otherwise, it could have been too late. Hope you're doing well, man. I remember when I was doing the video for the 15-year anniversary, I had your pic. I had a bunch of pictures, and I remember seeing yours, and I had it in, ready to edit. And then when I was kind of doing everything, it got deleted by accident. I'm like, where's that picture of me and Zane? And so, like, I went into the old folder and found it, pulled it back out, and stuck it back in, and, like, made room for you. I'm like, I'm not going to not put you in there, man. So I appreciate that. And I hope everything is going well for you. I'm sorry I didn't get to Revolution. I swear, I will be in LA again. I will go. Come on, Ahmed. He was so full of fire still, you know? By the time we got to 97, 98, Ahmed's moving in slow motion. But here, he is just, he's spunky. Spunky. Who's legal? Vader's legal. Okay. Ugh. Yeah, this is this 5-minute stip. I forgot. Just Smitty, I've not watched the Vader one. We got one behind. I forgot about the Ludwig episode. So then we watched Ludwig Borga last week, and because Elizabeth had a crazy work schedule. So tomorrow we're going to watch Vader, and we're going to watch the WrestleMania 9 documentary. Damn, Owen and his missile drop kicks, man. I forgot, it's Yoko that gets Cornette for 5 minutes, right? If they win. Paul Sherrick, you're 5 seconds behind. You can fix that. Just pause it for 5 seconds, wait until you're 10 seconds behind, and then hit that 10-second forward button, and then you'll be synced up.
And just in case, by some hook or crook, he should have to get in there with Yokozuna. He's been training.
He has. I bet he has. Oh!
He's been training at Blippi's.
Training at Blippi's.
Come on, Vader.
At the moment, dominating.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the Mania 9 doc. I mean, we've seen glimpses of it, because there's that one WrestleMania DVD that they released that had some, when they chronicled all the Manias, they released some of that. So I've seen some of that backstage stuff with Hogan and Giant Gonzalez and, you know, interacting, and I've seen a little bit of it, but nothing like what they probably showed on that documentary. So I saw the clip of them talking about the Hogan thing, and that one guy, fucking George or Adam, whichever one he was, they were all over TV around this time. George and Adam, they still work there. The one with the dark hair was featured, I guess, in that documentary. And they used to do those dumb little skits and shit, you know? I remember thinking as a fan, I'm like, how do these guys get this gig, you know?
Cornette, you better reach down to the bottom of that bag of tricks of yours. They're not cut out with a snake.
Has returned to being a
Mr. Fuji with an American flag is hilarious.
Ahmed has been triple D. Ahmed now. Ahmed with catch. Here we go.
Tag to Jakey.
Here's a sharp left hand by Jake the Snake Roberts. Put it across the chest. Look at this. Jake the Snake Roberts sets him up for the DDT. No, not
I'm going to eat this wonderfully nutritious gummy that's perfectly safe for children. You can give this to children as long as they're over 21.
hanging up in a row. Clever maneuver of Hart. Of Owen Hart, who calls himself the King of Hearts. Owen Hart set up for the ride. With authority. Here comes Jake. Oh, no.
Jake wearing that shit was always funny to me.
Owen Hart lifting a knee just in the nick of time on the foot of the jaw. Oh, no.
Oh, this is great. I've been waiting for this.
Jake the Snake Roberts in trouble again. Triple team. The official, come on, Red, turn around, see what's going on.
Jake.
I don't know what's going on. That snake is getting stomped.
Davey and Jake. Let's see.
Going out your garden, you
I'm pretty sure Davey Boy and Jake will be the only people on this show that competed at WrestleMania 2.
The Bulldog, a real powerhouse.
Right?
don't worry about the tag. Just don't let him get to the
Definitely.
Not an ordinary front face.
Well, never mind. Piper. Piper. And Brett. Piper, Brett, Davey, Jake. And I don't think anybody on the show competed at WrestleMania 1.
That's it. Keep him in.
Back is straight up the Vader, the legal man. And look at this. Vader hammering away. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Rights and lefts all over Jake the Snake Roberts. Set up now. Unfold. Down he goes.
Go ahead and slither across the ring like a snake that you are.
Psh, Lawler, shut the fuck up.
And his team have been very, very impressive thus far. And Jake
Shane, did I enjoy Jake's run here? Not particularly. I was excited to see him back, but I think at the time I was like, I wasn't sure, you know? I felt like WWE was desperate for names. They brought him back because he's a name. But they kept talking about how old and broken down he was. He was like, he's fucking 6 years younger than I am right now. He's 41. He's so old. Now you don't even win the championship until you're 41. It's Owen with the elbow. So I liked it a little bit. He had a couple of matches that I thought were really good. But he definitely wasn't the Jake of old. And the green vest thing was really weird.
submission hold here.
Trying to remember what match it was that I thought was just really excellent. I think it was like a King of the Ring qualifier. He either beat, might have beat Triple H. I think it was Triple H because Triple H was in the doghouse. But he had another match where I remember after he won, it was like, wow, I can't believe he won that match. Of course, I can't remember now.
Yes, there is very little left, I would suggest, in the physique of Jake the Snake Roberts.
That's right. The strength is sapping from the sap. There you go. This could do. Oh, yes.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. This could do it, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Big power slam. A cover. 1, 2, and go.
I cannot believe it.
And neither can Davey.
Oh, wait a minute.
The British. Wait a minute. Wait for what?
The snake looks like he's
Yeah, Mr. Fuji's born in Hawaii. Good point, Michael Kumo. See, he's an American. He's an American. Fuji was awesome. It's crazy that you can travel. If you live in like Washington State and go 20 miles north, you've traveled internationally. But if you fly 7 hours out in the middle of the Pacific, you have not traveled internationally. It's so weird.
Is almost kaput.
These guys are getting a little frustrated though because they can't put him away. And throw it down. I was worried about
Hawaii is the furthest I've been. I've been to Canada. I've been to the Bahamas. I basically am in Mexico right now. And I've been to Hawaii. But I've never been to Europe. Or Japan. I think I'd like to go to Japan. My sister really wants to go. Her and her husband really want to go to Japan. I want to go just for, like, wrestling. I think if I was into video games, I'd probably want to go.
He must tag one of his tag team partners.
Bulldog, bite his ankle, do anything.
Tag to Yoko. Ugh. It's crazy how the year before, Owens winning the tag titles with Yoko, and now they're on opposite sides. Look at that. Pounding Vader. Or Yoko. He was so big. Poor guy. Vader called for help. And they sent Yoko to, like, Duke, like the Fat Farm there, and he came back bigger. I should have gone and visited him when he was there at Duke. Drove up there. How you doing, Yoko? I brought you some rice cakes. Nope. Davey's there.
Whatever you do, don't let him get the DDT on you, Owen.
Look out. Action on the outside, action on the
Oh, nice. Nope. Nope. Cornette. Ha! Cornette got stopped. DDT Cornette. Oh, DDT to Cornette. Oh, he's going to take the short arm clothesline? Hit him with the short arm. Nope, he's going right for the DDT. Now Vader's going to stop. He's taking way too long. My favorite is when he fought Jose Lothario and he said Jose put out a switchblade on him. There's the Vader bomb coming. Oh, and that's going to be it. Vader's going to get the pin at WrestleMania. And heels win the opener.
What a monster Vader is. Up tenacious. Look at this. And Yokozuna on the outside.
What's up, Amato? Yeah, I want to eat at the barbecue place. I can get a jacket. I'll just walk in there and be like, I'm good mic work. And they'll be like, oh, here's your jacket. Trust me, I'll get a jacket.
It's certainly not over between Yokozuna.
The Rock shouldn't get a jacket. I should. Maybe one day if The Rock can reach the fame level of a good mic work, maybe he can get a jacket too.
Rowdy Roddy Piper. His name in the World Wrestling Federation is synonymous with only one word.
But I probably would at least visit that steakhouse because it is famous and I love, love, love meat.
With the hard ways of the ring. And if they didn't listen, off to the pit they went. As acting president of the World Wrestling Federation, things have been no different.
Now listen,
Ruling from his oval pit.
Michael Cole is voicing this and Michael Cole was not in the company yet.
But who knew that such power would turn a bizarre...
This is what I'm talking about. Didn't I just mention this earlier? I said Michael Cole revoiced shit that Todd had already done. And here you go.
As a matter of fact, he not only dedicated a poem to him,
But this is wild because Cole isn't even here yet. He didn't come in for like another year and a half.
now a man in office, Piper knew it was in his best interest to turn the other cheek. But when he did, it was slapped in an act of violent rage. Pushed to his limit, Piper responded in typical Roddy fashion.
This was supposed to be Razor.
Hollywood Backlot brawl. We're going to take you there momentarily. Of course, earlier on we saw a hot rod with a baseball bat in his hand and a fire hose.
Yeah, one thing you'll never see in the hand of Hot Rod, that's an Oscar nomination. You know what I mean? An Oscar award. Because he's through in Hollywood, and Goldust is fixing to make sure sure of that.
Marlena is here with us, ladies and gentlemen. As a matter of fact, she's back in
So Vince is mic'd up for the entire crowd here?
in her director's chair. How about that? The champagne is on ice. A little confident in terms of her abilities.
Remember when I watched wrestling on TV as a kid, before I ever went to a show, I didn't know. I thought the crowd in the arena could hear the announcers.
Hollywood Backlot Brawl. Roddy Piper is there, awaiting the presence of one gold.
All right, Piper's now. They filmed this a couple days earlier, apparently. The gold Cadillac. Did they buy one already gold, or did they buy a Cadillac and paint it gold?
Look out. Get out of the way, Roddy. This guy's a nut.
A backlot, Hollywood backlot.
Look at the mind games. What are we going to get here?
Because it would be a little bit of a drive from the Hollywood studios lots here all the way down to Anaheim, so they wouldn't even be able to get there that fast. Here we go. Which I guess is why they do the OJ thing. Look.
Get away from me. Get out of there.
I mean, here Goldust is the Intercontinental Champion. Doesn't even have to defend his title.
I thought Goldust was not Roddy Piper's. He's lost it.
All these people watching. There's the Bronco. The Bronco is hilarious. Damn. You gotta be careful. You got a bat.
Unbelievable.
Oh, there just happens to be snacks outside. It's a rainy day in Hollywood. It's usually so sunny. That's a lot of straws. You know, do you have any idea how many turtles are going to choke?
This is vintage Piper. Piper has been incensed.
Juliet, no. This, I don't think this is the night Slaughter. Gorilla came back. Gorilla had to get some surgery. They wrote him off or something, I think, right? And then Piper took his place, and then Gorilla would reassume his role already because Gorilla comes out at the end of this and makes the sudden death. Slaughter comes in after Brett wins the title in '97. I'm pretty sure that's the night after SummerSlam when Vince announces him as the new sheriff in town or whatever. So Slaughter's still a ways off, but Gorilla reassumes his role tonight. I think in the ring, I think Howard announces him as once again the president.
I think Goldust is being taught a lesson he'll never forget.
Yeah, I had that wrong earlier when I mentioned Vader beating up Gorilla. That was after the Royal Rumble, not the night after WrestleMania. So Gorilla's been off TV ever since that. God, now looks like the blood on. God, he really did nail him.
Did you hear the smack of that?
Been watching natural born killers too much.
And Piper's
I think Piper legitimately hurt his hand. Oof. Yeah, I think Piper is bleeding on his hand. That's why all the blood is on Goldust's head. And I think he broke a finger, broke a knuckle or something like that.
run over him. What? No, get out of there. No. Goldust is just trying to get out of there. Look at, he's running over him. He's gonna hit him. He's gonna
Wow. It's a good thing he didn't pin him in between the dumpster there. Jesus. Psh.
This is totally out of hand. Roddy Piper was hit by a car.
Piper's going to go get the Bronco, right?
This has really gotten out of hand.
Is it over? What's he gonna do?
He's fucked his hand up.
We'll return. Piper.
Now, I don't know if that blood on the door handle was already put there or if that's Piper's blood from his hand. I think that blood was already there.
Look out, look out! Roddy's going after him, I think.
I mean, this is a full 2 years after that chase happened, which is crazy.
Well, have you ever seen anything like that before?
So all the fans had to watch on that little ass monitor in the entranceway there.
I'm happy that's over with. Uh-oh.
The ringmaster. Or he's Stone Cold now.
In Anaheim, ladies and gentlemen, at the pond. This capacity crowd is stunned. I'm sure everyone watching on pay-per-view likewise is stunned. We knew that Hollywood...
Remember when Austin got hit by the car, he rolled with it? I'm nearly certain that that was a stunt double. For Austin wasn't the one that took that bump. But yeah, they took it better.
What's he gonna try to do? Running down into the streets or something?
I don't know. I know this Goldust is getting out of there. A new attendance record set here, ladies and gentlemen, at the pond here in Anaheim. 18,852. Jam-packing the Arrowhead Pond. Yes, indeed.
Well, they had 18,000 for this one.
A spectacle and sports entertainment world, and there you see the $1 million champion, Stone Cold Steve Austin. All right, let's take you back to Doc Hendricks out there, I believe, with some...
This feud with Savio lasted way too long.
Anything can happen here, Vince, and I'm standing here with Savio. Savio, the biggest match of your life, but right now I'd like to take you back to last weekend on WWF Superstars. Because of a random drawing, you drew Stone Cold as your partner, and there we see...
Oh, that's right. They had that stupid tag tournament going on.
The second time, he refused to tag you. Obviously, you could not take it anymore. You let him have it.
A random drawing. I forgot they had to be tag team partners.
Short victory. Then we seen the agenda of Stone Cold. He never wanted to win that.
So in the record books, Skip owns a victory over Stone Cold Steve Austin. Okay.
Advancing and winning the tag team titles. This past weekend on Superstars, after he still had the $1 million dream on a victory, you saved the kid from trouble. Then you felt the effects of that $1 million dream. Tonight, do you have a way to avoid this? Like
Doc Hendricks.
$1 million dream.
Finally, my dream come true, Steve Austin. I'm in WrestleMania against the guy I want to fight. You, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Be prepared for the fight of your life because Savio Vega is ready for anything.
Okay, Savio.
You have it. Hold on to your hats, Vince. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Doc. I'm very excited indeed.
I'm very excited.
Vega. Anxiously. There we are.
Here comes Quang.
Soon to even the score with Stone Cold Steve Austin. And it looks like Savio Vega is preparing for this matchup, yes, before he even gets in the ring. Vega, a very determined athlete. Here comes Savio Vega. Here we go. Stone Cold Steve Austin racing on top.
And this might have been, I think that match we just saw highlights of might have been the final time Austin ever wore the white boots. Because he was still doing that when he was ringmaster. Here he's all black. I think he pretty much sticks with this look from here on out. I don't think he wears those white ones again.
And Savio Vega.
We Are Pro Wrestling, you can confirm that for me.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, look at that. Turnabout, fair play. They're rolling around almost in the dirt, if it were. And to the outside. Oh. Listen to the smack in the flesh. Oh, my goodness. Vega and Stone Cold Steve Austin mean business. Oh, here at WrestleMania. Look out, he's going after. Go ahead. Going after the $1 million man.
Wonder if Austin's got an elbow injury there. That's why he's wearing that pad. Because after King of the Ring in '98,
No, sir. Stone Cold
or at King of the Ring '98, I think he had like staph or something, and he had that elbow wrapped. I think it's the same elbow.
Vega with Austin. Throws him
Remember the night after he won the title, and lifting the title up, and he's got that thing on his arm.
about this. I don't know if anyone really expected Vega to take over a fight like this early on. But, look at this. And a return there. A hard right hand.
Yeah, the knee braces wouldn't come until that about a year later. They did that Final Four match at In Your House for the title, and Austin took a spill, hurt his knee, started wearing it ever since.
And a double axe. Down goes Steve
And then before long, he was wearing 2 knee braces. But he would get 1 knee brace first. That would begin in '97. I think he had it in the submission match with Brett. I think he did. He might not have.
Austin and Savio Vega here at WrestleMania. On cover here, and we get a count of 2 to kick out by Vega. Stone Cold Steve Austin, the only individual worthy of being known as the $1 million champion. Ted DiBiase looked for years.
That's right, but by the way, this is a non-title match, you know.
Oh, yeah, it's not for the $1 million title.
Non-title? What do you mean? What do you mean
Yeah, the knee brace is on. I had to look it up. I'm like, is it on? That's WrestleMania 13. So he's got the knee brace on. So yeah, right after that Final Four, It In Your House was when the knee brace appeared. Oh, we got footage, guys. Oh no, he's on phone. He's on the phone. Where did Roddy get a phone? Did he have one in his pocket? Did he have an iPhone in his pocket? I don't think Broncos came standard with a car phone back then. Because back then, there was car phones. They had a cord and everything. I remember my friend had one in his truck, and I thought it was so cool. I'm like, you mean people can call you when you're in your car? That's so cool. Now, I don't want people calling me when I'm in my car. Leave me the fuck alone.
Oh my goodness, Savio Vega now. Oh, with a clothesline. And like he ripped his bicep. And down to the canvas. Vega's arms hurt.
I remember watching the show. There's 3 people in the front row, right there in the hard cam, all wearing WrestleMania shirts. 3 dudes, maybe 4. And I remember, I think they won like a contest or something because they were all there in the same spot, all wearing shirts. I remember some of the reactions was kind of weird to me. And I was like, oh, maybe there's some giveaway winner or something like that. Like they weren't, I don't know what made me think that back then. Or they're related to somebody. It's just a guess. Like usually when you win something, WWE gives you a bunch of shit. You know, I've been taken backstage before. They give you shirts. They give you all this stuff. So it feels like these guys all have like WrestleMania gear on. They probably met the whole roster backstage. And now they're front row. I want to be them. I want to change places with them. Well, Goldust is not headed for Tijuana because that would be south, and Hollywood is north. Boy, Piper's had... How would Piper know what the number to WWE is? Or to the number to WrestleMania? He's on his car phone. You can't even call anybody to ask. Like, how would he know what number to call? I'm going to call Vince McMahon's headset at WrestleMania. He has a number for that. He gave it to me in case I needed it in the middle of the Backlot brawl. Or did the Bronco come standard with a car phone and the number to every pro wrestler in the world? I don't know. I'd like the answers to these things. Fez press. Timmy White, it's not a pin, you dipshit. No. They've been doing those sequences for 30 years, y'all. You get these type of 3 counts on a Dynamite. This isn't wrestling. Well, Austin did it. Why is it not wrestling? Stone Cold did it. Why is it all of a sudden not wrestling? Oh, because you don't like the initials on the turnbuckle pads. I got it. Okay. Now that checks out. Oh, there's the footage of the Bronco. I remember watching that in real time and chuckling at it, but also rolling my eyes. I'm like, Vince, what are you doing? You're so weird. Like, a lot of people forget 2 people were viciously murdered, you know? It's like, goddamn, you know? That family's still grieving after OJ literally cut his wife's head off. And he did it. We all know he did it. He's virtually admitted he did it. And I hope he's rotting in hell right now. I'm glad OJ did go to jail, though. I am glad that we did get him for a little while. He did live like 9 years of misery or however many years it was in jail. Might have been less than that. But at least he got to experience being cold, dark, and lonely, eating bullshit food. He deserved to die in there. Ugh. I remember watching SportsCenter the morning of the murders with OJ in cuffs. I remember waking up to that. Sports Center was a part of my morning routine. And I was like, holy shit. And then I remember being at work when the car chase happened. Because it interrupted the NBA Finals in the bar. We had it on the TV in there. And I was just a busboy. It was like 1994. I'm 17. I run to the back dish room and tell my dishwasher, Tom, I'm like, OJ's running. And I'll never forget Tom. He goes, that means you did it. That means you did it. And I'm like, yeah. Oh, I didn't know we get a Timmy White ref bump here. He ate a spinning heel from Savio. Look at Timmy White. Laid out like freshly killed game. Oh, Austin. Colin Wright, appreciate too. The new Naked Gun is taking the piss out of OJ. That's awesome. I'm glad that they reference it. Cody apparently is in the new Naked Gun. Those Naked Gun movies are awesome. Oh.
Austin just right in the head. Just nailed Vega. And now look at this. That was $1 million shot, McMahon.
Oh, yeah. And White is literally sleeping.
The official is still doing it. Oh!
Damn. That should have shouted out Vlad there in the front row. Forgot to mention him. I see some of the Hart family members there. I see Helen and Stu and I think Georgia Hart.
Is still out. I would suspect we're going to have another official.
Who I think is Davey's wife.
Just a moment. I'm surprised we haven't.
Or not Davey's wife.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Diana's Davey's wife.
What's he doing? But why? What's he doing? He's just choking him down. Look at this.
That's not even the $1 Million Dream, is it?
Making a point, McMahon. Hey, what's Ted DiBiase doing with the official here?
Colin Wright, appreciate the $2. Netflix cut the Bronco footage.
Wake up the official.
Would this be on Netflix?
Wait, he's got some sort of cut. Oh! Wake up.
Oh, maybe where you live, Colin.
I can't believe it. If Roddy Piper were here, he would not be allowing this to go on.
Yeah, Blade and Dallas are there too. All of them in the front row. Wrestlers' families usually have their backs to the hard cam. You'll never see them on the other side. Usually the front row family people, like Arnold Skollin's wife, all those guys, they are going to be with their backs turned.
$1 million dream, McMahon. Yes, bring it. Oh, please.
Did he really? Oh, I thought DiBiase rang the bell. I thought DiBiase walked over there and rang the bell. I think he grabbed the belt. And Austin wins.
And the $1 Million Man.
Okay, so outside the U.S., this stuff is on Netflix. Interesting, so that's going to be harder for you guys to follow along.
I love it.
Yeah, it's not going to, outside of the U.S., if you're not following on Peacock, we're not going to be exact, so I'm sorry about that. And I don't know how to rectify that. Actually, I do. What I could do, I still haven't gotten a VPN yet. I could get a VPN and pull up the Netflix one and make 2 timers. One for Netflix, one for Peacock. I actually could do that.
Let's get richer. The poor get children. Look at the smile on DiBiase's face. I can't get over the lousy officiating here. Finally, we've got some more officials down here. Come on, somebody do something. Okay.
Or actually, I don't even have to do that. All I have to do is get one of you guys to let me know what the runtime is on the Netflix show. That's all I need.
If Roddy Piper weren't here, this would not have been.
Well, no, that wouldn't work either. Because then the footage is going to be not matching up either way. So forget it. You guys are screwed. Sometimes I have to talk myself through situations. Say, wait, that wouldn't work. Never mind.
Stone Cold Steve Austin. Victorious of sorts. Wait, we'll take it back to. We have our cameras. Wait. That's.
Here's more OJ. I mean, there's a lot of trial and error doing this, too. Like, okay, how can I figure out how to have a timer and have them fill along and all that? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I can do that.
Awfully familiar, these
Vince, this footage is familiar. I watched that, y'all. A lot of y'all probably weren't even born. I was at work when that Bronco chase was happening. I'll never forget that. Just sitting in the bar, just dumbfounded, be like, because that was admission to everybody. How the fuck he got acquitted after running away is wild to me. Look at Diesel and Perfect. I kind of forgot Perfect was there.
Look at some footage right now of where you were taken inside the ring. The hole was in the ring. You were dragged down underneath.
What was going on down there? Did you get raped?
By the Undertaker. From there we go to Monday Night Raw. You walked out. The lights were flickering.
I remember doing all of this stuff,
The Undertaker.
knowing that Diesel was leaving for WCW and just having trouble getting behind it because I knew what was going to happen. He's going to job at Taker and leave.
You see yourself, Diesel, inside that coffin.
Ha! I love that they put a body double in there.
Question I have for you right now, Diesel. What must be going through your mind, and do these mind games by the Undertaker affect you in any way, shape, or form?
Do I look like a man that's...
He's like, we're going to be in the NWO together, Kurt, in about a year, so just chill.
They don't call me Big Daddy Cool for nothing. I don't sweat the little things. I don't sweat the big things either. Undertaker, you're a big obstacle. Tonight...
Do we need the hard close-up on his face?
And then, Sean, good luck. I'll get you next.
Okay, I guess that's what Big Daddy's got to say. Back to you,
I love that Diesel loses to Taker and then gets a title shot at the next pay-per-view.
Thank you.
He's the perfect commentator.
He's cool, no doubt about that. He might lose his cool, however, a little bit later on when he faces the Undertaker, what a matchup, ladies and
And Vince, and it's, you can tell in Vince's voice, like Vince knows he's leaving too. Like everybody knows he's leaving.
have more.
More footage.
Roddy Piper was out there again.
All right, this might be the Warriors match because they've got that thing lowered, that circular.
What it was.
Yeah, here comes Triple H. Oh, really? Mania 9 is now on YouTube. So when WWE's Vault channel, if there's ever a pay-per-view we want to watch that's over there, we'll watch it on YouTube. That way everybody can follow along. So if the stars ever line up and we've got a watch-along scheduled for a show that's on Vault, we'll watch it on Vault.
Well, don't get too excited, McMahon. You're certainly not going to give you a second look with that Lee press-on hair you're wearing.
Look at Sable. Sable's first appearance.
Who is on his way to the ring and on his way, ladies and gentlemen, to face the man who makes his return here at WrestleMania, the Ultimate Warrior.
And this would take them right into the Mark Mero and Hunter Hearst Helmsley feud.
Can't take your eyes off of Hunter. She's going to come out
So Sable debuts here and Mero debuts in the next segment. This is actually the hottest Sable's ever looked to me, to be honest.
Congressional Medal of Honor. How about your Purple Heart? Or maybe your
I mean, Sable was hot, obviously, but I always thought just she was kind of okay, you know. But here, she's got it going on here. She was certainly no Tori or Trish.
pull up a chair here.
Will he be able to apply the pedigree on the Ultimate Warrior? And what kind of condition is the Ultimate Warrior in anyhow?
Remember when they were saying he was 400 pounds and bald?
I got a hot tip right before WrestleMania went on the air. I don't know if I should go ahead and let the cat out of the bag, but I heard that the Ultimate Warrior got on the scales
Oh, yeah.
before this match for the weigh-in, and it said to be continued. He's up to about 400 pounds, McMahon.
He was only gone for 4 years. What do you think he was doing, gaining 100 pounds a year? A 400 pounder? He's going to come out looking like Bundy
I pay good money to these swords.
with face paint and trying to run?
Hunter Hearst Helmsley, along with this lovely lady.
I love the story of Vince having to go talk to him, fly out to his house, and listen to all this bullshit about his distrucity, and he's a fucking nutball.
Kind of a prominent proboscis. All great men have that.
Let me grab another cold one before Warrior comes. All right. Good to hear that music again. I mean, they needed this. They needed a name. And he's standing there. He's not even doing nothing. He's waiting for his thing to light up. Get out here, Hellwig. I mean, he still got a reaction. I mean, fans did miss him. I remember, I'll never forget watching Raw the night after the Royal Rumble. And they're doing like a little intro, and then the very last thing that Vince says before the start of the show is, "And what about the Ultimate Warrior?" And I was like, what? I had no idea. And I was like, holy shit. I was waiting for Warrior to show up in WCW pretty much at any day because they were taking everybody. So when Vince said that, I'm like, are they bringing back the Warrior? I was legit excited. I was never a Warrior fan, but I was a WWE fan at the time. And I knew Hall and Nash were kind of on their way out. And so I was like, this was a big get. So maybe this could help maybe fill that void. Warrior coming in, those guys leaving. But Warrior coming in sucked. He didn't get a chance to work with anybody. They put him in there with like Goldust and Lawler at the 2 pay-per-views. You know, when I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, oh my God, he can wrestle Brett. He can wrestle Shawn. He can do stuff. And he didn't do dick. Because he's an idiot. So much for my sources. Oh, Tito's here. Hey, buddy. Hey. Hi, bud. You want your banana? He loves those catnip bananas. He goes to town on them. He needs a new one. That one's soaked in slobber. Yeah, some people thought it was like a different Warrior. I never did. You could tell it was Warrior. Like, even if he was a little bit leaner, you know, because they thought that in 92 when he came back. That it was like a different guy. I'm like, you can tell it's him. Even if he's smaller, like his pecs have the same shape. You know, yes, I stare hard at men's pecs. You know what I mean. But, you know, he had the same shape. It's the same face, the same fucking nose. It's him. Plus, you can just watch him in the ring and tell it's him. Oh, here comes the pedigree. Good. Triple H is going to get rid of Warrior early here. Boom. Put him away. All right. 1, 2. What? No selling a pedigree? What an asshole. Triple H has always shit on Warrior up until he was on the Jimmy Fallon show. Was it? Or Tonight Show? Where was he, like, last week? And then he put over, like, how what a great honor this was. I'm like, you're so fucking full of shit, Triple H. They also try to retcon history a bit and make it sound like this match was punishment for the curtain call, but the curtain call hadn't even happened yet. I mean, the Warrior had no moves. I don't know why I was excited to see him back. The last time I saw Warrior, I was 15, and now I was 19. Vince, God. Doing, yeah. God. When you really analyze Vince's commentary work, he is a weirdo. God, shut up. And Warrior squashes Hunter. And I'm convinced, I've talked about this before, I'm convinced that the reason Triple H retained the title at WrestleMania 2000 in that fatal four-way was because of this loss. He did not want to lose twice in this building. And it was his only way of kind of redeeming himself. When he should have lost again to The Rock. Okay, look at that. Look at the Toddster. I miss Todd. I was envious of Todd's gig. I wanted it.
Ladies and gentlemen, a new superstar of the World Wrestling Federation. I'd like you to meet the Wild Man, Mark Morrow.
Mark Morrow. Hey, look, guys, it's Mark Morrow.
I have arrived. I have arrived. It's been 5 long years. I've been waiting to come to the World Wrestling.
I have an issue with my bone marrow.
It's the day that I have arrived. And what better day than on the Super Bowl of sports entertainment?
Well, let me ask you something, Wild Man.
This surprised me. I didn't know Johnny B. Bad was coming in. I wasn't like, I didn't have the dirt sheets dialed in 96.
Are you up to the challenge?
Look into these eyes.
I was too worried about paying rent.
Into these eyes. The fire that burns in these eyes. And the wildness that burns in my soul. What are you doing here? Punk. You pompous.
Yeah, you pompous punk. They were in WCW together. Hey, leave Sable alone. The Wild Man. Me and my dad met Mark Mero together. Mark follows me. I've exchanged some DMs with Mark Mero. He's cool. I've met him a couple times, and he's always been super awesome. Here he comes. He's on his way here. I forgot that they do take a few matches to get here because I'm like, there's no way they can just leave and then show up at the arena because Anaheim's a bit of a drive from the studios there in Hollywood. And here comes Diesel. So all that's left is this match, which I remember being good, but I haven't seen in years. I can't wait to watch this one. And then we got the climax of the Backlot brawl. And then we got Brett and Sean for an hour. I loved this theme song from Diesel. I rocked Full Metal in my CD player in my car and played this. Somehow managed to get dates here and there, despite that behavior. I know, I don't understand it either. I did not play my Full Metal CD for the dates. I was at least smart enough to not do that. I did love the Tron effect with the truck driving through it. So look at that little Tron. They're still using the 1992 Tron there, or that's just a video wall. And that's where that whole crowd had to watch that Backlot brawl shit on that little thing. What about the fans behind it? There's no screens hanging up in the arena. So how did the fans in the arena see the Backlot brawl stuff? Like, I feel like if I was a wrestler, Diesel's theme is the song I would pick. Like, if I could pick one existing theme to use. Like, I wouldn't come out to anything like heavy metal or Austin or anything like that. I'd come out to Diesel's theme and just slowly strut to the ring, probably chew some gum, you know. Make funny faces to the camera, you know. I'd definitely be Diesel's theme. Diesel's theme suits me, I think, the best of any wrestling theme. You can cut the anticipation with a knife. JJ Leg, thanks for the $5, bro. With Dynamite surpassing Nitro this week, we should do a watch-along of Double or Nothing 2019. I barely remember that show. Man, that was right at the very beginning, man. That could be a good idea. I'm into that for May. We should really save that for maybe May. Next month, since it's Double or Nothing month. But imagine that, you know, doing a Sunday watch-along of an old AEW show. That's crazy. That would definitely be the most recent show. But I really like the classics, man. It's Classic Sunday. Maybe we could do that for like a different day of the week. Because I like Sundays for classics. But I guess they could be considered a classic now. I mean, if you're 18 years old, that was a third of your life ago. So for some people, it could be a classic. For me, it was yesterday. Yeah, I have that kayfabe commentaries in my shoot interview collection, that one from Cornette. I used to stockpile shoot interviews, man. Then podcasts came around. I'm like, holy shit. People used to pay for just 2 hours to hear a wrestler talk. Now they just go on any old podcast and spill the guts. Retell the story so many times. That's why all these stories are changing. That's why now all of a sudden Brett says Vince promised him a 6-year run. No, he didn't. That's just what you decided to say today. Vince never said that to you. You said as much in your book. So you got your blatant delusional liars like Hogan, and like Brett is honestly turning out to be a little bit. And then you got your other guys that just retell the story so many times, they probably just misremember things, and the accuracy doesn't match up. Shit, I do that. A lot of my memories are so vague. I like how they're trying to use that. I think this is the first pay-per-view they did this, where they had that circular thing that lowers. The arena setups blow my mind. Anybody work in that type of like construction or rigging or engineering or whatever, like the fact that all that shit can be hung with like these cables and stuff is crazy. I've always wondered. I mean, it's morbid as all hell, but I always like during an NBA game, what if that scoreboard just fell? Just fucking killed half the team, you know? Like, that would just be nuts. Like, what if anything just, something broke off there? And the fact that there's never been an accident, there's never been a major, I mean, we've had some, I think a WWE production guy did die over the last 10 years or so, but I mean, things like that happen. But like in the middle of a show, like a cable snapping and the fucking light fixture falling down and killing Vince on commentary, that would have been awesome. But killing anybody else would have sucked. And here we go. Taker's 20-minute entrance is over, and we are underway. I remember liking this match, so I'm curious to see if this match holds up as well as it does in my memory. Hey, look, bowl cut guys there. Big fella with the bowl cut. That's a choice. To do that on purpose, even in the 90s, is a choice. I thought Taker obviously was far superior athletically, but Nash was not terrible, you know? I think Diesel was like the lowest drawing WWE champion, but he's underrated in that respect. He was a good champion, I think. I mean, I lived through those years. I was 18 when Diesel had his run, 17 and 18. And I liked him. I mean, I was pissed that Brett was not lost in the shuffle, but just spinning his wheels in stupid feuds. That was annoying me. But in terms of Diesel carrying the championship, I liked him. I was Team Big Daddy. That sounds awesome. I remember my family, we had like a family computer. Because I just moved out. But we had like and it was primitive, like the internet was just barely a thing. And I remember there was like Tetris on there or something. I was battling with my sister for the high score, and my name was Big Daddy Cool. And Big Daddy Cool was #1 on that Tetris high score for many years, wherever that computer is now. But I remember trying to load up like a wrestling web page, and it took like 30 minutes just for one like image to be shown. And now we're watching fluent HD video. Times have changed. Oh, yes. I'd like to have a little ass Jack Doan ref in this. Get the shortest fucking referee you can in there. Diesel taking a cane bump. I want to know the story of those 3 guys in the WrestleMania shirts. I've always wanted to know that. They're a little bit off to the left.
Shirley and a knee. Thereby Diesel almost in desperation to make sure for the Undertaker now being set up. Whoa, no! Oh!
This is around the time I started calling the office. I was talking to Vince's secretary, Beth. She would talk to me. She hooked me up with like backstage passes and stuff. She was awesome. And it was right around this time that I started phoning them up and getting information on where to send audition tapes and things like that. I was such a mark. I had no business trying to get in the biz back then.
Jackknife him right there.
Oh, look at that! And Diesel driving the Undertaker's spine into the post. Turnabout, fair play again. Diesel breaks the count and comes right back to the Undertaker.
You know, Steve,
Oh, damn, you got an ad? Just clarify, the ad was not here, right? It was over there?
If Diesel defeats the Undertaker,
I don't know, though. Even if I kill ads, YouTube might still hit you with an ad. I don't know. I've been a premium subscriber since the day it launched. I couldn't click that buy button. I'm like, I'm never going to watch a goddamn ad again. At least on YouTube.
defeat the Phenom, it looks promising.
yeah, go ahead and get him too.
Well, you recall you already got him prior to the event.
I'll get him again.
Diesel
Take a
stepping into the ring.
forklift. Take a forklift to pick Paul Bearer up and run him into the steel post.
I like Diesel's look, too. What Diesel lacked, you know, in the ring, you know, that Kane and Undertaker, I think, you know, were better in the ring. A little more impressive athletically in some of the matches they could have. Diesel made up for it. And just kind of cool factor, you know? He had such a much better personality than both of those guys. Like, if I could choose to hang out with Kane or Undertaker or Kevin Nash, I'm hanging out with Kevin Nash 100 out of 100 times. With no exceptions. Infinitely cooler of a dude.
Dominating the match. Diesel is absolutely dominating the Undertaker like he has never been dominated before.
And managed to create a pretty impressive world title resume for himself, you know, despite sharing an industry with, you know, other very, very talented giants.
Let the eyes roll back in your head, Undertaker, one last final time.
Look at this. Diesel taunting the Undertaker.
Came a long way from Vinny Vegas.
The ability to taunt the Undertaker.
I told you Diesel wasn't afraid of him. Ooh.
And thus far has
Oh, can WWE get Nash to make an appearance as Vinny Vegas in Vegas for Mania? Maybe Vinny Vegas can do a run-in in the Cody match.
Big Daddy Cool Diesel
Or maybe it'll be a walk-in.
the Undertaker.
It'll be a slow walk-in.
Come on. These morons. This had no effect on Big Daddy Cool whatsoever.
Yeah, Taker came back with the purple when he had to face the other Undertaker, and they had to like do something to distinguish them. So it was like purple Undertaker meant babyface Undertaker, and then he stuck with the purple. And I didn't hate the purple, but I really missed the original look of Taker.
Very close. And I think Diesel for sure was counting his chickens before they hatched there. Paul Bearer can't believe his eyes either.
I don't think Diesel's too upset.
Yeah, Nash played basketball.
He wants to administer a little more punishment.
I think did Taker play a little bit too? I feel like if you're tall, you played a little bit of basketball.
Not over until it's over. That
We had a couple of super tall kids in our school that sucked, but were on the team.
The Undertaker on the run with the gut from the other side. Down.
I remember one basketball tryouts. It was like 8th grade, and I fucking rejected this guy, this slow lumbering dude. And he just went up, but he didn't see me coming. So if he did, he probably would have thrown me right to the ground. But I came up with this sweet rejection, swatted the ball into the fucking stands during tryouts. And like, it was like one of those situations like, you know, everybody like totally reacted. And he made the team. Started every game.
Cool Diesel.
And I sat on the fucking bench.
Dominating the matchup.
You can't believe it, can you, McMahon?
I suppose I'm surprised with that again. Maybe I'm not.
You're in shock.
No one has been able to dominate quite like Big Daddy Cool Diesel. Look at this. The Undertaker, who has proven, however, he can absorb huge sums of punishment, enormous sums of punishment.
Well, he's taking enormous sums
Yes,
right
he
now.
is. I don't think he can take much more of this. And again, another hard right by Big Daddy Cool Diesel.
Big Daddy Cool.
The Undertaker's hair gets in
Vince was always all about saying the full name.
hair still grows that
And Bret the Hitman Hart does this, and the Hitman Bret Hart does this. The Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels, like he just so over promotes his stuff. I mean, he's the promoter.
Push to the midsection. Look at this.
But my God, he's so over the top. He's a carny fuck to the core.
And both men look like they hit each other at the same time. Both men.
Double boot.
These two monsters.
I love how Taker didn't kind of have red hair at this time because he was dyeing it.
Known for that, McMahon. Those big brothers
He was no longer a ginger Taker.
in the face of their opponent, but they both got him at the same time.
These men beating each other to pieces, maybe into submission.
He's lifeless.
And we're up to a count of 6.
Yeah, not all tall guys should play ball, but in school, that's the way it was. Like, if you're in middle school and there's some fucking 6'6" guy walking around, just stick him on the team. Why is he even trying out? And so that's kind of what you did when, like, at that level, that's so unbelievably amateur.
Diesel, black line.
He's up two. He's up first.
He's up first, it's right. From behind, double axe. Diesel with the Undertaker. Working to the
We had a fat kid on the team, too. Huge kid.
working on the lower back.
That's what's smart about Big Daddy Cool. Obviously, he was just resting.
Big Daddy Cool Diesel taking advantage of what the inflicted on the Undertaker earlier on into the ring post. Working to the lower back. Now
Crushing.
trying to capitalize on it.
Crush him.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone take the Undertaker to the limit quite like Big Daddy Cool Diesel has done.
That's right, McMahon. I told you it's gonna happen. Watch him, ref. Watch that hair pulling.
And the
Yeah, I think the movie that Taker was in was with Hogan, was Suburban Commando. I've never seen any Hulk Hogan movie other than No Holds Barred, which I saw in the theater in the middle of the day, a matinee. My mom dropped me and my sister off. I was 12. Back then, you could just drop your kids off places when they're 12. It was no big deal. Now, you don't want your kids going to the mailbox.
to withdraw.
He's beginning to just. He's wilting.
He is right before our eyes.
Taker played pickup with Olajuwon in college. I like that. I really, really liked Hakeem Olajuwon. I was happy when they won. Right, the time when the OJ chase was going on, they were winning. Olajuwon and the Rockets, and who was on that team? Like Clyde Drexler. Was Drexler on that team, or he was Portland? Vernon Maxwell, right? Guys like that. I remember. I liked that team.
Beginning to sit up, but not in a fashion that we have seen in the past.
Come on, look.
Was Robert Ory on that team? Might have been Robert Ory.
Rusty
I don't remember.
on his back.
I think it was Drexler. Drexler get traded from Portland to Houston. Is that what happened? Big Daddy Cool. I like how Lawler's like, Big Daddy Cool.
No cover there. The Undertaker's body must be racked with pain after that drubbing, that beating Big Daddy Cool Diesel.
The Taker going to the top. Oh, I thought he was going to go for elbow drop. Diesel's up. It's going to be a clothesline. Top rope clothesline. What a leap. Taker could do some things back then, man.
The Undertaker. Coming over now. Is that enough to put Big Daddy Cool on? Do we got him? No, we don't. No. Whoa.
328-pound missile off the top rope could not put Big Daddy Cool away.
I was a really big fan of Taker in these days because he was the one guy WWE had that just felt like he was
Winner. And he's showing you why here.
he was never in danger of leaving for WCW.
WrestleMania and the whoa, oh my goodness, down in the back again. Sets him up. Here we go.
That was a pretty good jackknife.
I told you, McMahon. You're looking at a prime-time player right
Yeah, see, like I like Diesel just chilling. I love Kevin Nash. Like, this is the Undertaker we're talking about. And he's just like,
Diesel playing mind games.
checking his watch,
Undertaker after the jackknife.
looking at his nails.
Throw a wreath in there.
Are you getting Diesel? Another one? What's he doing? Diesel apparently.
Like, you've seen an Undertaker match before, right, Diesel? You know what he does.
He's taunting him.
He's dead.
He puts his foot on the chest. The official. Diesel what? Diesel wants more. Diesel wouldn't do this unless he knew he has the match in the palm of his hand. Diesel now with the Undertaker. What's he gonna do to him now? Gonna set him up for another jackknife?
You know what, McMahon?
That's exactly what we're gonna see.
This man
He's to give him another one.
Another one. You can hit him with two.
the Undertaker has ever faced.
Those were both better than the one he delivered to Shawn last year. It's crazy how fast everything moved back then. The time moved slower for me, but the fact that Diesel went from, being a relatively new WWE champion, retaining the title at Mania, to being on his way out the door a mere 1 year later, You know, now 1 year feels like it goes by like that. But that time period of Diesel's title run to the time he left felt like it was an eternity for me as a fan. It was like 18 months. Folgers crystals. Up. Diesel. That's dumbass Diesel. I like the Undertaker's like his character is just a literal zombie. Every match is like a horror movie. As soon as you think you got him down, he's fucking. He's Chucky. He's literally Chucky. Chucky had his head chopped off, and he's still coming at you with a knife. At least in the first Chucky. I don't know what they did in the other 20 Chuckies. Oh. Nash, I always thought of as like a smarter wrestler, but he's approached this match as someone who hasn't done his homework. He's turning his back, acting too chill. I'm like, haven't you seen The Undertaker come back from literally everything before? Oh. Ooh, Undertaker landed funny on his shoulder there. Choke slam? Yeah. Oh, that was just the weakest looking choke slam I've ever seen. He like just laid him down. Don't injure me. I got a big contract waiting for me in Atlanta. That's an awesome stat, We Are Pro Wrestling. Only counting televised matches, Nash only had 80 matches. That's actually more than I thought. Televised matches? 80 is a lot. I would think like 40. Oh. I mean, the Diesel character was from, what, 90? He won the IC title in 94. Started wrestling, I guess, in 93, right? By late 93. So he went, like, late 93 to early 96. Not even 3 years. So he went, like, 2.5 years max. So that's nearly a match a week. Almost. What, 1.2 matches a week? Or 0.8 matches a week? Feels like a lot. Zane, yeah, thanks for the 5. That's why I wanted him to, like, very carefully walk. Look how he's got the tombstone set up here. Kind of off to the side. His head isn't in between his legs there. I did like the 3 count on that. I should have mentioned that. But yeah, Vinny Vegas shows up at Mania. We saw what happened to Shane at 39. It's going to be probably the same. I mean, that was a solid match. I mean, it's not going to be spectacular, these guys, but for 2 big 7-footers, it certainly wasn't bad. But I think Diesel would have a much better one the following month with Shawn. That GFBE. Uh-oh, we're watching, guys. Any minute now, they should be showing up. Oh, look. As luck would have it, exactly after the Taker Diesel match ends, here they come. Jesus. They are way too wild with these cars. Jesus, man. He almost ran into that wall. Oh, God. Jeez. Goldust started to open that door. I cannot believe these guys actually didn't hurt anybody or anything. No, that's way too much blood. That is not Piper's blood from his hand. The bloody door is hilarious. Oh, good. We're going to get a few shots of Gorilla here. I kind of want to get a look at the production area back there. Who was that? Was that Pat? That wasn't Pat that ran past there. That's what we've been told. Piper's on his way. He's not here yet. There's Lanza. There's Diesel right there. They don't have the spotlight on Piper. I don't think, oh yeah, they're both on the aisleway. I mean, the whole thing was stupid because, like, you got an audience in the crowd there, you know? You already have a bunch of matches that don't have a lot of time. So why didn't they just make this a Hollywood street fight or something and just do it all right there in the ring? Well, I guess it was a reverse because a lot of times in that situation you do the finish outside and, you know, in the back in a Falls Count Anywhere situation. So this was a reverse Falls Count Anywhere. But there's no referee. There's no way to declare a winner in this, right? So Piper's got his hand taped up all of a sudden. Which that Bronco must have had a lot of supplies in it. It had a phone, medical supplies. Hell yeah. I bet you after the day that they filmed this, they took a picture of Goldust's head and then tried to match all the spots on it. They did not a great job.
Remember, no rules in this. It started in a Hollywood Backlot brawl. Look at Goldust ripping Piper's shirt off, choking him around the neck with it. Piper's leg is damaged too, McMahon. Not so sure he didn't break his hand earlier. The hand bandaged. Oh no.
Now he's choking him.
Now there's no referee here.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be a street fight, right, with Razor. But then Razor got suspended. I remember after Razor was suspended, he was still showing up in that stupid tag team tournament with Savio. That's why Austin, I think, walked away from him in that earlier match. They did the same thing with Warrior. They suspended him, but they already had some matches in the can, so they aired it anyway. And we're like, well, he's suspended, but he still has contractually obligated matches. I'm like, well, of course he would. The point of being suspended is to not be in those matches, and then he's here anyway. They're so stupid. They're so dumb. Like, just don't air the match.
Earlier on, Piper was dominating the Hollywood Backlot brawl. But Goldust is dominating a match at Choco. Goldust is dominating this. Goldust playing mind game and just pummeling Roddy Piper. Look at this. Goldust dominating.
A very unconventional tuxedo match, Garrett. Extremely. Unbelievably unconventional.
Goldust with Roddy Piper.
Although, how do y'all know I don't have that shit on under this? What if I took everything off and I'm wearing what Goldust is rocking? You wouldn't judge me. I mean, Piper's wearing a bedazzled belt.
Maybe ruined the day. And indeed, he chased after Goldust. On the top now. Right row. Piper in desperation, shaking the top rope. And Goldust paying the price on that. What a headbutt. And another one.
And then the kiss.
Did he just do what I think he did? Look at Marlena shaking her head. She loved it. I think Goldust stepped up and alive.
Now, I don't really think, Piper losing his mind here isn't because of homophobia. It's because that's sexual assault. So you're already physically assaulting each other. So now you're adding a second form of assault. So, yeah, he's probably going to snap here. Sexual assault is never good, whether it's homo or heterosexual. Don't be a sexual assaulting people. Just grab him by the balls. I mean, that's not a bad move if you are in a street fight or a fight for your life, and the balls are that accessible like Goldust's are, because that is a very thin thing that he's wearing. Or maybe jeans, you might have a little more protection, but you can get a good old handful of them. Twist them right off. You win. Oh, dear. Yeah, well, that's what you got to do. And now he kisses. Oh, he gets a kiss back. Well, that was nice of Piper. He gave him a smooch back. If you're going to go through the trouble of forcing a kiss onto a man, you at least want one back. If I ever see y'all, and I grab a hold of your face and kiss you on the face, on the lips, I expect the same in return. I don't know why, but something tells me that this is Dustin's idea. Dustin's like, how about I wear this stuff? It'll be fun. I look great in a thong, he said. And he does. No, that's enough of that. Marlene, are you cool with your man wearing that? That's hot to you? Probably is. She probably loves it. Covering his top. Oh, my God. He's like timeless Tony Storm. Only not as over. Piper's awesome. And that was kind of it. No more Piper. This is, I think, the last thing he would do. And then he would show up at Halloween Havoc. Adios, Piper. Go get that bag from Turner. Yeah, I'll give you accessible balls. They were very accessible. They're there.
A most unusual match, to say the least, however, yet to come, ladies and gentlemen. The 60-minute Iron Man match. Jerry the King Lawler, you can look now. It's safe.
You can look now. It's safe.
Iron Man matchup. The most
I love that Lawler does commentary with no shirt
decisions of
on.
in this Iron Man matchup.
It's WrestleMania, son.
Will be victorious.
What would Isaiah Thomas think about this? He'd be appalled.
This is unbelievable. The only thing that could follow on this is Shawn Michaels and perhaps the Hitman Hart. I can't wait. I don't know who's gonna win.
Josh, yeah, Piper goes and he shows up at Halloween Havoc in October.
Of this matchup.
Deal probably came together somewhere in the summer. I don't remember.
1 hour. For Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, this is what it all comes down to. Throughout their World Wrestling Federation careers, both superstars have
This is Michael Cole.
similar roads.
Again,
Through heart, determination, and pure
this is crazy. Why would they have Cole do this?
and have made it a point to simply be
Is it because they would have to pay Todd royalties, probably, right? After he left? So they took the time to have Michael Cole re-record all this shit just for that? To save a couple coins? You cheap motherfuckers. That's got to be the only reason, right? Otherwise, it makes no sense. Todd did it better.
Sweating his way through the ranks for over 7 years, through the good and the bad. Shawn Michaels continued to follow that dream. The dream that would eventually...
Yeah, this is the same video package they ran on WrestleMania 12, only it was Todd doing it. That's upsetting.
The rugged technician, whose formal training came in a dungeon in Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
I'm sure the VHS tape, you know, because that came out in 96, that's going to have the original one. But I don't know any DVDs they've released on this pay-per-view. I guess I would have one other copy of this. Official copy from WWE in that WrestleMania set from 05. Yeah, that's going to be the only copy of the other copy of that I'm going to have, other than my recording live from PPV. All right. The Iron Man match. The title. Oh, he said the title. Todd says the title. Cole says the champion. All right, Sean. Look at Brett. Looks great with that belt.
60-minute Iron Man match, we're going to find out just how good Shawn Michaels is. I think everyone's going to see just how good I am. And I think the way I look at it is one man's sunset is another man's dawn. And tomorrow morning, I just want to wake up tomorrow morning with this.
It looks like Brett is legitimately in the locker room alone. I'm looking in his glasses. I see the two cameramen, but I see nobody else. And here's Gorilla.
At this time, allow me to introduce a man who I can happily say now is officially the president of the World Wrestling Federation, Gorilla Monsoon.
I love Gorilla Monsoon.
Gorilla Monsoon. Back in action. You can bet he was watching the match with Vader earlier on.
Ladies and gentlemen, this contest is the special Iron Man match for the World Wrestling Federation Championship.
Oh, I remember this being really funny. I think just Jose comes out, right? I remember watching this. I'm like, this is hilarious. Here comes Sexy Boy. What if you're watching this as not a non-wrestling fan and you're like, this guy? Why is my grandpa coming to the ring? This is Brett's opponent. The fact that he's coming out to Boy Toy. I just can't get over the awesomeness of that. Kind of looks like a Finn Balor type of shirt, doesn't it? Or a Demon type of shirt. Just coming out to Sexy Boy.
What's going on? Something's not right here.
Shawn Michaels has left the building. I guess Jose's going to take his place.
Wait a minute, he's climbing the rope.
He's climbing the rope.
What's he doing? He's pointing up to the heavens.
The heavens. Vince always says the heavens. It's the sky, you idiot. It's the heavens. It's fucking ceiling. Sean's like, oh, fuck. God. That's a cool shot right there. I'm not going to lie. That's very cool looking. What an, I mean, as if you didn't know he's going to win. God, just imagine in the multiverse somewhere Owen descends perfectly fine and wins the Intercontinental title at Over the Edge. But at WrestleMania 12, Shawn falls and dies. And actually, if that happened, then he probably would have never calmed down. They would have never done that shit again. And then Owen would have just probably still been the Blue Blazer, because Blue Blazer didn't come out from the heavens when he debuted in '89. So he didn't need to do that. So he could have still had the Blazer gimmick, but never had to worry about coming down from the roof. There's a universe somewhere where that scenario is happening. One day we'll have the technology to teleport there. We will all be dead, but it'll happen. Shawn knows he's going to win. Extra pep in his step there in his little dance routine. Now he has to strip. I remember Brett was so bothered by all this. He's like, you got little kids doing strip teases. And I'm like, I actually do think that's kind of funny. Shawn's gimmick was very interesting. An interesting one as the top babyface. You know, you're going to have a bunch of kids mimicking his strip moves. Like, what if you're 10? Dancing around like a fucking village person. Watching this pay-per-view this night was hard. I mean, Brett was my guy, and I knew very well what was going to happen. There was no doubt in my mind whatsoever which direction WWE was going. And so I had to watch Brett cough up the title here at WrestleMania for the second time as the shitman sign lurks in the background there. Look at Shawn. You see, at this time, Shawn's still kissing Brett's ass a bit. No issues yet. Shawn's not in a great place, but he knows Brett is not probably too overly thrilled about putting him over, so he's trying his best just to keep on Brett's good side, I guess. Yeah, Brett not being the champion was rough for me. And he would leave again here. For a few months. He left in 95, too, after dropping the title.
All right, we'll get the instructions.
Brett's talking to his family there in the front row.
The official.
Brett's family gets ringside seats. Shawn's parents are a little bit further back. I'm pretty sure they're like 4 or 5 rows back, maybe behind the announce table somewhere.
Gentlemen,
Look at Earl.
this match is for the World Wrestling Federation Championship. This is a hard-man match. You'll be wrestling for 60 minutes. Wow. The man who wins the most decisions will be declared the winner and the World Wrestling Federation champion.
We know that, Earl.
Hitman's cool.
All right, I hated it this time. WWE had the referees wearing that stupid patch.
By a pinfall, a submission, a countout, or a disqualification. You must break on the count of 4.
Would have been funny if the final fall was just a count out. They went nothing, and then Gorilla came out, made sudden death,
You leave the
and then Brett gets counted out, and Shawn wins the title. Brett probably pitched that.
you have a 10 count,
What if Vince? What if I just get counted out?
you be counted out.
Just count me out. It's no big deal.
Do you gentlemen both understand the rules?
We understand the rules. Do y'all? Did you get all that? Do we need to get Earl to run that back one more time?
Good luck to both of you.
That's what it's about. And Bret Hart now surrenders the title.
Hey, got to give it a kiss.
Official Earl Hebner.
Every now and then I'll yank the winged eagle off the wall there and give it a big wet smooch. As one does.
There's been so much anticipation for a championship.
There he is. There's his boys. Little Blade. Blade was cute as shit. I hope he grew up to be a cool dude.
That's his son Blade. Blade who's out
The kid was lucky.
just last
He had Sonny chasing him around.
6-year-old Blade watching his dad. Bret the Hitman Hart defend the title.
Probably could easily cop a feel without any repercussions. And Sonny would probably like it. Sonny, I hope you're doing terribly in prison, by the way. I hope it sucks. Hope it sucks so bad.
Bret Hart claimed what he was going to do was beat Shawn Michaels into submission. He made his plans very clear.
Probably bragging about how much fame she has while having to shit in front of 9 people. Oh, I love it. Love it.
I'll tell you right now, if the Hitman wins the first decision, he'll win the match. That's how important it is.
Well, I would suggest, I'm going to disagree, but I'm going to agree with you partially. Whoever wins the first decision is likely to win the match. All important, not just physically, but obviously from a psychological.
Be back in 1 second.
Look at that. Nice takedown. And a sit up by Bret Hart and an escape and a reversal. And to the ropes. And a nice escape on the part of Shawn Michaels.
I know what Bret Hart would like to do. He would like to keep Shawn Michaels down on the mat. He would like, as a matter of fact, he'd like to take those legs away from him. That would cut down all of Shawn Michaels, those high-flying, high-risk aerial maneuvers. That'd finish him off. He could apply the sharpshooter early. It's history for Shawn Michaels.
The sweet chin music. Applied so many times by Shawn Michaels. Will Bret Hart be hearing that? Nice takedown by Shawn Michaels. Talk about technicalities there. Nicely done. Orwell, Shawn Michaels fall to the sharpshooter.
That was a little bit embarrassing for the Hitman right there, but it also bounced the back of his head off that mat. Oh,
And another
same thing.
takedown. And whoa, nicely done. So Shawn Michaels is giving Bret Hart a little wrestling lesson, and I don't think the Hitman
All right.
is going to go quite that way here in the
All right. I'm back. Had to go say bye to Elizabeth. What did I miss? What's the score? What's the score? Is Brett winning? How many falls did I miss, guys? God, I hope Brett's winning. Shit. I'm going to be pissed if it's like 2-0 Sean and I missed it.
winding up. Bret the Hitman.
All because I had to say goodbye to my wife.
However, a reversal. Standing side headlock. Let's see what happened. And again, takedown. Nice hit. Trying to hold him down, but no. Hanging on to the side headlock.
I think the Hitman has been worrying a little bit too much about what the fans think of him. No, I think he thinks.
No, I don't think so.
No, I think he thinks he's worried that he's like lost his fans, or that they.
14-29.
That may be a big difference in this match. If the Hitman
Ray, it's the higher scores always first.
please the fans, he'll come out a loser.
I love like when you ask women the score of a game. It's 6-20. It's so adorable. They all do it too. I'm not saying you're a girl, Ray. I know who you are. You're a man. You're an anchor man.
How dumb you sound when you say something like that. Thank you.
5-0 Sean, damn.
Half of them are the Hitman
All super kicks, I assume.
for Shawn Michaels.
Sean doesn't really do submissions.
Seen thus far as pretty much of a defensive strategy on the part of Bret Hart.
Like, Sean should have added a submission move other than like a figure 4. He should have learned something. He didn't do nothing.
Both in personality, and there we see the clock ticking down. Both in
See, there's one thing right there. That's a prime example of what set WWE apart from WCW. It's simple, but it's notable. And it's the scoreboard. Like, look at that. That if that was WCW, it would just have big, obnoxious letter. They wouldn't have done anything to kind of polish it up or, you know, not make it so noticeable. It would be very bare bones. Just the timer and the thing and the whatever. You know, here, WWE's, you know, got the initials there, the score, and then a nice little timer that's kind of faded down a bit, you know, so where it's not like blasting there. So it's just there to reference, and it's not sticking out. It kind of blends in. It's just a production level that WCW didn't have.
Bret the Hitman Hart. Very basic match. Thus far.
If it was them, they would just have the full names typed out long ways in the most basic font, whatever just the default font is on their computer back there. They would just have that and the score, and it would look ugly, and it would be an eyesore, you know. And so WWE was just always way better in that department.
Bret Hart applying his full weight advantage a moment ago down on the neck as well. And again, no chance there of being pinned, at least not in this state. We've seen it all here thus far at this year's WrestleMania, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness, you're not kidding. An Undertaker, Big Daddy.
I mean, I do think this match was very good, but I do understand people who prefer The Rock and Triple H one because he had more falls. There was more going on. But Vince was, you know, this was Vince's philosophy when it came to two of his top guys facing at the same time. he could not ever decide who to put over. And if he ever did, it was probably very difficult to get it to happen. So, here, if Brett has to lose, it's got to be no falls and sudden death and all these little asterisks.
Find out perhaps who might be the stronger of the two. And there goes Bret Hart. A back heel trip nicely done, and Bret Hart with a fun face lock.
You mentioned earlier that Shawn Michaels may be a little quicker, but I think the Hitman would have the advantage in the strength department, just by a hair.
And Bret Hart focusing now on the head and neck area.
Even after Warrior won the title, all of a sudden we had double main events because you couldn't not have Hogan in the main event, but he's not your champion. And then the same thing with Savage. Savage was the champion, so he was teammates with Hogan, so Hogan was always in the main event no matter what, It's like they always figured ways around it. So Vince could never just decide and put his foot down and go with someone. It was always very hard. Sometimes extreme things had to happen, like the screw job.
Comes the strategy. Both men came in here, especially Bret, however. Both men came in with a great deal of strategy, but Shawn is more of an instinct man. Bret is more of a strategist.
That's right. That could be the difference, too, because Shawn he'll do something on the spur of the moment. He'll take a chance. It could cost him.
I remember in the build-up to this, too, Brett was kind of knocking Shawn's style a little bit. It's like a Mexican jumping bean or whatever. And I'm like, well, what are you going to say about Rey Mysterio then, Like, Jesus, dude. But he didn't, really respect Shawn's style compared to where, he trained. And everybody feels that way. They probably feel like whoever trained them could kick anybody out of the trainer's asses. But, Stu was a different style than Jose because they were different workers in different areas of the world.
Jose Lothario, the mentor of Shawn Michaels. Oh, my goodness.
Like Brett, Stu was
Likewise, in attendance
toughness,
is Stu Hart.
or Shawn's finesse.
In last night's Slammies.
He's sitting right there at ringside.
Brett's finesse, too, though.
He's sitting right there at ringside. Hey, there was a geriatric match between the Huckster and the Nacho Man. We could have a Jurassic Park match. Stu and Jose Lothario.
Jurassic Park match. Oh, that would be, if this was modern times, Stu and Jose would definitely be duking it out in the middle of this match. It would be 3-3 with 10 minutes left. Like, he's sitting next to Classy Freddie Blassie. Jose would back up and accidentally bump Stu. Stu would climb over the barricade. They'd be fucking throwing haymakers. The crowd would be going nuts. It's Helen trying to hold Stu back, freaking out. Oh, my God.
Suggest she is somewhere.
I mean, if AI can make the pictures that they're currently able to make, I'm sure that they can make a whole video of that. That looks pretty real.
And now, from the other side, a nice escape in the front of Bret Hart. We paid the price there. From the other side, Michaels comes back in front. Toho nicely done. Bret Hart in control. Michaels trying to find a backdoor and does. Yes.
Michael's trying to find a back door and does. And I'm sure it's not the first time.
I wonder if Bret Hart is surprised by the wrestling acumen, oh my goodness, of Shawn Michaels.
He may be. I'm sure that this was the Hitman's strategy to wrestle. And Shawn
I heard she was in an antique store and they kept her. Lawler with the one-liners.
probably figuring that all Shawn Michaels was going to do was going to be flying around all that Mexican-style wrestling like he anticipated.
All that Mexican-style wrestling. Like, that's such a weird style of wrestling.
Surprised to the Hitman.
Even for 96. Mexican wrestling isn't that weird.
I suggest it's safe to say that both individuals are pacing themselves,
Mexican wrestling's got a lot richer history than WWE does.
not wanting to be the one who makes
And they're all knocking it.
will be the deciding factor. That's right, at least in the first fall, if not the match. The first man who makes a mistake.
Whoever wins that first ball, just keep that in mind, McMahon. My prediction.
Bret Hart back to his feet.
I mean, I would love to see Eddie Guerrero against either one of these guys. We never got Shawn and Eddie, did we?
Breaks the hold and
But imagine if you could put, like, Prime Eddie in the ring here with the triple threat. Chuck Eddie in the middle of this. He'd spice it up. Oh, my God, he'd add some pepper. Would turn into the greatest Iron Man match of all time. Iron Man triple threat match. Most falls wins. Throwing Eddie into this thing. Oh, my God.
Michaels to the bugger now. Oh, he's caught by Bret Hart. No limit. Oh, on the outside.
So much for the pacing. Look at Bret. He's disgusted with himself.
Appears to be a little frustrated. And that was one of those high-flying Mexican maneuvers that
Those high-flying Mexican maneuvers. That's what that was. It was one of those high-flying Mexican maneuvers.
is Bret
Was he saying that when he was in the rockers? Oh, here comes these Mexican rockers. Like, what the fuck? This was so clever. Like, they've never seen a goddamn head scissors before.
Right, the momentum taking right to the outside. Bret Hart back in now. Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels.
You could see the Hitman was just frustrated. He wasn't hurt.
All right, 11 minutes underway here.
Terry nicely done.
They're undergone.
Bar again.
Believe it or not, this is what'll hurt you. Somebody put the pressure on that shoulder. You put your shoulder right out of socket there.
Thus far, it looks like Shawn Michaels is taking a page out of the Hitman's playbook.
I don't know. You know, Brett and Eddie were in WCW together. But I don't know. I think if there was, I'd remember that. But I'm not totally sure.
That's the quickness we spoke of earlier on. It obviously is an advantage Shawn Michaels has.
I don't think they did.
Experience factor obviously is an advantage when it comes to Bret the Hitman Hart. And of course, Michaels must be better. Wait a minute now, they're both standing up there. Michaels off from the other side. Oh, man. Knee to the abdomen area, and that headbutt in the lower abdomen area as well. It was the abdomen.
Yeah, these guys are still playing nice at this time. Like, you can tell, like, Brett is not happy about putting Shawn over. He's respectful to Shawn. They get along. Brett even talks about what good friends they are. But, you know, even in the build, you could tell, like, Brett was just like, you could tell by the what he was saying that he was going to lose. And he was just putting himself over as much as he could. Putting down Shawn's style. I think my style is better. And then he would always talk about how he'd had, and he was right about this, but, you know, how he had those grueling matches all in a row. He won the title in that crazy match versus against Diesel, then had to turn around at the next pay-per-view and have that bloodbath with Davey Boy Smith. Then he had to face The Undertaker at the Royal Rumble. Then he had to face Diesel in a cage. So he had all those matches leading up to the Iron Man match. And he was constantly reminding people, I had all those matches, then Gorilla Monsoon came out and restarted the match, and oh my God. So he was respectful to Shawn, and they got along and stuff, but he wasn't really doing a whole lot to put him over, you know. He did say a few things like he could tell that Shawn would be the guy coming to take his spot someday, and said he was a great wrestler and stuff, but
Very basic maneuver, but again, it's sort of surprising that Shawn Michaels is showing us all of the basics and showing us the execution.
the way Brett was, well, I guess that's what you have to do.
Awarding his match on points, an amateur style. I think you'd have to award it thus far.
But Brett would almost kind of frame it as if, you know, hey, if Shawn wins, it's going to be the biggest fluke of all time type of thing. And I'm like, well, that's not what you should say about the guy who's about to carry the flag for you while you go away.
Be able to get out of that hole rather than risk an injury that could cost you the whole match.
You're right, but then again, we go back to that.
But it wouldn't matter. Shawn would be ungrateful either way, so.
Bret Hart. In quite a bit of pain, I would suggest. Bret Hart trying to find the back door, trying to find the escape from the
Trying to find that back door. Vince has been saying that a lot tonight. First, Shawn was trying to find the back door. Now, apparently, Brett's trying to find the back door, too.
Not always the smartest thing to do when you're
With everybody looking up their own ass and you looking for yourself, I put my money on nobody finds nothing.
Yeah, but he was able. You gotta get over there and take the pressure off.
The Departed.
and Bret Hart set up for the ride, coming off, big block by Shawn Michaels, and collision. Well, Tony and Shawn midair. Michaels is in trouble.
Ooh, yeah. A spine buster, kind of. Brett going for the Sharpie. All right, we got two timers here. We got the Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels timer. We got our timer. We are synced up just fine. All good. That was a hard clothesline.
That could do it. Stay in the ring. He's gonna count out. You idiot.
I think maybe Bret Hart thinking,
No, Sonny and China did not travel together in the click.
put Michaels away.
They were. Sonny was there when China came in. But I don't think they were traveling together. Oh. Tony Chimmel. Like, got legitimately kicked there. I don't know if they show a replay of that or not, but he got nailed. And I don't remember the story. Did he legitimately get completely knocked out there? Because it was a stiff kick right to Chimmel's face. Looked like a hit job or something.
Bret Hart is right back on the neck of Shawn Michaels.
Yes, he is, but
We got a mess over here, McMahon.
We got a mess over here. He's out.
unfortunately, I hope there's no
I want that WrestleMania 12 chair. I still just have the one chair. I got one chair from the King of the Ring 99. I still have it.
the boot of Michaels.
But I never sat close enough again to get a chair. I've had some ringside seats, but it was never at an event that gave you a chair.
Watch this now.
Oof.
Watch Michaels get set up. Watch.
Bringing out the stretcher.
Both men back in the standing position.
They're bringing out the stretcher. Yeah, look at this. God, I mean, did he really get tagged there?
But this is one of the more unfortunate.
Look at Sean like pulling shit out of his mouth when he's in that rest hold. Come on, Sean.
That could have broken his jaw, McMahon.
He is laid out.
That could have broken his jaw, McMahon.
We know Lawler.
Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, that was really Chimmel.
42 minutes and counting. Left
He wasn't all. He was like a ring attendant for many years. You can spot him going all the way back to I think the late '80s, before he was even ring announcing. He was just there like collecting, the ring robes and the jackets. And Razor Ramon would give him his, Jay, something happened to this gold, Chico. Something going to happen to you. I love that. Something happened to this gold. Something going to happen to you. That's my favorite.
This match will test the skills of Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels as they have never been tested before. An Iron Man matchup.
Training? Chimmel? I don't think he really needed training to learn how to swallow a foot like he apparently did there from Sean. I don't know if he was doing it physically. Or maybe you're talking about announcing training.
All over the world, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness.
WWE had a lot of in-house promotions. You'd see guys, working themselves through the ranks. They've had a lot of lifelong employees. That's why it was crazy to see that George and Adam guys are still there. But it's becoming less and less of that now with TKO. There's probably less long-time, decades-long employees there than there used to be. But
Competing for the championship. Sold out for
a lot of guys held positions there for years doing all sorts of shit.
1,000 fans. We're live in all
Especially before they went public. I mean, they were still mom and pop,
Kingdom. Delayed broadcast. Following all over the world. 18,852 fans. Many of them feeling that Shawn Michaels will be the next
Hey, heading to trivia. Have fun. I haven't done that in forever.
Bret Hart. Just too clever. Just too aggressive for Michaels to defeat. Oh. Those are fists. Those are fists. Yes, they are.
Those are fists.
And Bret Hart has been unable to keep Michaels down. But wait a minute. Michaels now drives Bret Hart to the rope. And Bret Hart hooks the rope. Nicely done. Look out. Drop.
Drop kick. Brett's up quickly. Sean's on top of things here. He frustrated Brett early with some of those wrestling moves. Brett was expecting Sean to jump around, and Sean
And Bret Hart.
kept it
50 kg.
on the mat.
The excellence of execution. There's never been a champion quite like Bret the Hitman Hart. The fightingest champion, unquestionably, of all time.
I still can't stand him.
A great deal of respect, and I would suggest Bret into the rib area of the knee. Michaels drives another one. Bret Hart might be the most well-respected champion of all time.
Sean here with some submission holds. I like it.
Fans all over the world too. No,
I'd have to say you are maybe factually challenged.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Sean This move would really hurt if you're doing it for real.
Shawn Michaels pulling on that shoulder. That must be painful. Trying to separate the shoulder. And look at it up against the chin as well.
Yeah, that's right. They showed that. That was in the Raw intro from this time period. They would start using that.
Trying to step on Michaels' face. He can't do it. Michaels yanking on the arm. And again, it's Michaels who has been showing us so many of the basics and executing those basics almost excellently, you might say.
Nate Dogg, yeah, having to score 0-0 kind of kills the gimmick. I do agree with that, but I do remember a lot of the chatter. Me and my buddy Daniel were talking about this leading up to this, and we both kind of had our eye on a tie. Like, obviously, we knew it was going to be a tie. And I remember thinking about to keep an eye on the time because we knew around what time the pay-per-view was going to end. These things were always like 2 hours and 45 minutes. So if that match started before the 1 hour and 45 minute mark, I was like, leave time for overtime. And so we were kind of already thinking that. So a tie was absolutely what we thought, but I wasn't expecting a lot of falls because I knew WWE's philosophy, Vince's, when it came to his stars. And one thing that you got to remember about Vince is that the way he would see it is that I'm beating my two top guys 4 times each in one match. He can't get past that. So I think Vince was like, he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't want these guys to beat each other over and over and over. I feel like in Vince's mind, they would lose credibility. Now, years later, that wouldn't matter. These type of things wouldn't be thought like that. And so that's why Vince would lighten up on it. But in this time, 96, when he's competing with WCW, the way Vince was and his thought process and shit, it would be wild to see him do something like that. It would be awesome for us if the score was Shawn Michaels winning 5-4. But in Vince's mind, he would have beaten his two top stars 9 times in one match. And I mean, maybe they could have gotten him to compromise and say, what about 2-1? 2-1 would work, you know? But this way it kind of keeps Brett strong. You don't beat him at all until the end. You know, and then if Shawn is to lose falls, that means he's going to win the championship in a match that he suffered a loss in. All that stuff, I guarantee you Vince thought about. Because that's just kind of how the way he was. Very protective of his top properties. And I think that's partially why this was a 0-0 thing.
A scoop. Uh-oh. Yes, here we go. First decision coming up. Going for a shoulder breaker.
But by the time 2000 rolled around and WCW's dead in the fucking water and nothing matters anymore, then you can have a 5-4. I don't know what Rock and Triple H was, but I think it might have been 5-4, right?
That can either separate your shoulder or fracture your collarbone. One of the two.
Michaels now. Down on that same shoulder.
I gotta admit, I'm surprised. Never thought I'd see this kind of match out of Shawn Michaels. I thought he'd be jumping around like a Mexican jumping bean.
Yeah, Mexican jump, I mean. Just flying around. That's all they do, huh? Jesus, Lawler. Hammerlock slams are hard to take. I would not want to take a hammerlock slam bump. I'd worried that I'd legitimately break my arm.
Surrender the first decision to Michaels. And Michaels again. Again, more damage being done to the shoulder.
Yeah, since we've watched this one, Ray, we should. Maybe we'll do that because that's coming up next month. That's going to be a good time for that. We could watch Judgment Day 2000. Oh, wait, I thought we did.
He is doing exactly opposite of
Haven't we watched that? If we haven't watched it, we'll watch it.
completely opposite.
I'll put that on the docket for next month.
Michaels winning some 5 slammies last night during the Slammy Awards, but that's
Oh, yeah. See, and another thing, Sean walked away with all those slammies last night. We'll grab another cold one. Be right back.
He gave one of those Slammy awards to Jose Lothario, didn't he?
matter of fact, he did. He dedicated one of them to him.
I would suggest you probably see that in a pawn shop in Tijuana tomorrow.
Stop it.
What?
And Bret Hart with a right hand and another one. Wow. Michaels, look at this.
He's losing it. He's losing it, McMahon.
He might be off the rope. And
That did it.
that could have broken his shoulder right there. Bret Hart better be thinking about
I have I marinated for 27 hours some ribs, a rack of baby back ribs, and I just threw them in before we went live. They'll be ready in 2-3 hours. They smell good. I got this jar of this really like delicious Korean barbecue sauce, mixed it with some regular barbecue sauce, some apple cider vinegar, some soy sauce, and a few random, some chili powder and shit. Mixed it up and just marinated it in like a big Ziploc bag. Chopped up the ribs and marinated it like for over a day. And like when I dumped them, I was like, I didn't want to know if I wanted to do them in the oven or the crock pot. I just decided to dump them in the crock pot. When I dumped them in there, just the marinade was like just all thick and coating them. It's fucking delicious. So I'm cooking those right now. And I'm going to eat them with mashed potatoes.
In the corner. He's been worn down. I can't believe it. He's been worn down by holes like this. Look at this.
I mean, during this time, in ring, these were two of my favorite guys. Brett obviously was number one. I very much liked Sean.
I think it's a bad omen for the hitman that both his
But I think I always preferred Brett better. I like Sean was awesome in the ring and whatnot, but Brett I thought was awesome in the ring too, and I like Brett's gimmick, and I like Brett's look better.
Actually, Stu and Helen should have said I quit before Brett was born.
I didn't have any desire to be a sexy boy
In attendance as well.
or a boy toy.
Shawn Michaels. Where are they sitting? I would suggest ringside. Try and pick them up if we can.
Vince is trying to act like he doesn't know where Stu and Helen are. They're right there. Or no, Sean's parents. I'm sorry. Gotcha. Thank you, Foxstar Killer. Appreciate the 5. We have done. I was like, I knew I've talked about that at some point. So we did a review years ago, but not a watch along. All right, Judgment Day 2000 it is. Make sure you remind me of that before we get to May, and we will do it in May. I'll probably remember, but just in case. I'm swamped with WrestleMania homework. I got some of my links up. I still got a bunch of shit to do tonight.
I think you're right, and Bret Hart. Unable to capitalize. Here comes the hitman. No, look.
Oh, Brett.
Left shoulder. His arm is hanging.
Yeah, Sean worked the shoulder for the first 30 minutes there.
So close.
So close.
Either way you look at it, this
Ryan, thanks, man. We'll have to do some takeovers next year, I guess.
Michaels blocks the attempt. It's Bret to the buckle.
Oh, is that Lawler said that? They should have said I quit before Brett was born.
Opening up this match event.
I love that Lawler is as old as they are now. Somebody should... Lawler should... If Lawler had a real sense of humor, as long as his health is okay, he should sit front row at a WWE show and have some heel come over and make fun of his age. Like, seriously. You have any idea how much respect... Because I don't like Lawler at all. I think he's a fucking rapist. But that would restore a little respect I have for him, for like professional-wise, if he like did that. Like, kind of just... a receipt, for all of that. Talk to Stu and Helen. His way of saying, you know what, I'm sorry about that. Have someone come out there and shit on his age. Say, damn, you look like you're about to die.
Now this is unlike the hitman. It's Bret Hart.
Which heel could do that? Who would be the best one to do that? LA Knight, probably. Damn, son. What's this? Brett, get off the top rope, bro. Knee in the back of the head. I think a bulldog would have been better. Earl got knocked down, and we are officially halfway through this match.
30 minutes left in this matchup.
Get up, Earl.
Close to it.
You're missing falls here.
Would have not had one. And that ref, the official, has got barely all right. And
Power slam. Oh, yeah, Cole probably did Juliet. But I mean, like, recreate what he did with Stu and Helen. Like, Stu and Helen were geriatric. Lawler was in the ring. So Stu and Helen were super old, and now Lawler is super old. So put Lawler at ringside and have someone come over and start getting on his case. And retell some of Lawler's jokes. Dust them off and say them to Lawler's face. That would be so fun. I'd be the right guy for the job if I was on the roster. I'd volunteer. Please let me do it. They're showing a replay of this move. I mean, Earl just fell. He didn't, like, if... It's not a fall that would injure you. It's just like tumbling on a gym mat at school. Get up. Grayson Waller. Yeah, we didn't see the pile drivers much. I should have mentioned that. And a kick out. That was our first kind of like real near fall, like you thought. Oh, maybe. Busting out a move you don't see every day. Nope. That might have been a legit tiny miscommunication there. I'm not sure if they were on the same page in that sequence. Oh, damn, Zane. You asked for a Backlash review and I revoked on it? Didn't mean to. Kevin Owens can shoot. Oh, yeah. Oh! Finally, they took a risk. And Shawn landed okay. I think they're going to show a replay of that. But that top rope move, when Brett catches him, he kind of comes down on the railing a little bit. You know, Shawn had one big dive, WrestleMania 11, WrestleMania 12, and they were both kind of just mediocre. I mean, that one was pretty good. He landed hard, but... The first decision is going to be a count out. Damn, Earl's only up to 4? In all fairness, Zane G, I don't even remember doing the Judgment Day review, but I guess it's up there. Oh. Well, it's starting to pick up a little. Here we go. Yeah, I mean, Shawn, I don't know if he overshot that a little bit, but yeah, this is the camera angle I like. Yeah, Shawn like dove right into the railing. Perfect plex. And a kick out. Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, Josh, I know you're right, but like they definitely did have to start slow. I mean, it's an hour-long match, so they're going to pick up the pace here now that they can kind of pretend like this is the beginning. You're gonna have this is probably how long the match would have been if it wasn't an Iron Man match, probably 25 minutes. The wily veteran. Austin Tucker, I don't think this match is overrated. I think WWE slightly overrates it. And I'm a Bret Hart fan, and I do love this match, but I wouldn't consider it the greatest Iron Man match of all time. Probably mostly because of the score. But I think these two easily would have had the greatest Iron Man match of all time if they were able to have a high-scoring affair. I think Bret and Shawn could outperform anybody else in that regard if they were able to have a more exciting score. Because that's really what it all comes down to. So the pace of the match, kind of all this was just because of the 0-0. If there's not going to be a fall, what are you going to do? You're going to have a lot of near falls and stuff, sure, but there's going to be a lot of dead air in there, So I think WWE might overrate this a bit in their lore and history and whatnot, but I think the fans kind of all have the same opinion about it. It's good, but it's not the best. Another weird kind of fall that the camera kind of doesn't catch. Shawn dove over the ring post on that one. Bring that stretcher back out here. Huh. Yeah, he took a bump. Savage used to like to take those big, long, vertical top rope, over the top rope bumps. Savage was always one of my favorites. I always like Kurt Angle's too, because Kurt would kind of like tumble over the rope. He had this little weird thing he'd do where he'd kind of twist himself over and he wouldn't go straight back. Everybody had a different way of taking it. Well, that was smart of Bret. Picked up Shawn, rammed him right into that damn iron post. Now they're covered in plastic and lights and sparkles. I love when Austin would talk about Shawn and his sparkles. You come out here with your sparkles. I love that. Somebody finally calling Shawn out for his sparkles. It's about time. Yeah, quite the bump. They're going to show it again. Oh, yeah, the cameraman had to get out of the way. That's why we didn't see what happened. Yeah. There's been better TV Raw matches. Barry's right. There's one on Raw and SmackDown, that Kurt and Shawn one, right? That's the one Barry's talking about, I think. And then you've got Brock and Angle on SmackDown. Both, I think, fans would consider better than this, even though they're shorter. Or one's shorter. Are they both an hour? I thought one of them might be 30 minutes. I could have gone to that Brock and Angle match too. My friend wanted me to go, and for whatever reason, I was like, I'm not going to go to this one, and I'm pissed that I missed it. See, Triple H and Benoit, I don't remember much about that one, Ray. I kind of do now that you mention it, but it's not sticking out. So maybe in my personal list, it's probably not going to crack my top 5. Or maybe if I watched it again, it would. Yeah, the fans doing this in the crowd. And we're down to less than 20 minutes now. Yeah, they're pitching a shutout. Defense wins championships.
The anguish in Michaels' voice.
Took a page out of Yokozuna's book there.
Okay, they were both 30. Okay, that's what I thought.
And Michaels is taking a drubbing at the moment. Bret Hart setting Michaels up for the ride.
Oh, belly to belly, belly to back from the second rope.
He folded him up like an accordion, McMahon. This is it. 1, 2, 3.
And he's got. You tell me.
I cannot believe it.
You tell me.
How did they do it?
You know, I got a piece of that ring hanging up there. I have the DNA of
Camel touch applied. Yet more
everybody.
to the neck and the lower back.
Like, I probably got the DNA of Owen on that thing. So what if, like,
As we take another look now.
can we clone yet? Have we figured that out?
The hitman Bret Hart.
I think we could all. I think the world could use another Vader.
Get that concussion that Shawn Michaels suffered. You saw the back
It'd be good for us.
jumps off the mat there. I mean, his head came down from McMahon.
We already
Probably 15 feet in the air.
resurrected the woolly mammoth. Why not the mastodon?
And Michaels knowing full well in the back of his mind.
Brock vs. Angle was an hour. It was.
Situation. He could suffer severe damage. But Michaels
Yeah, Victor, you're probably right.
in this match.
Because that had a good amount of
And the quick.
falls, right? And you're probably right about it only being 45 minutes because the commercials.
Don't let him get up. Get past. He got up.
Oh yeah, Cena and Shawn went an hour, but it wasn't advertised as an Iron Man match.
Michaels fighting back nonetheless and caught Bret Hart in the solar plexus.
The solar plexus. Remind me of the Benoit and Angle. Or I'm sorry, the Benoit and Triple H Iron Man match. I'm assuming that was a rematch after WrestleMania when Benoit won the title, which means Benoit probably won that Iron Man match. So if I'm right about that, like, what was the score?
And Michaels, of course, wants that dream to come true here at WrestleMania. And Michaels now set up for a ride in.
Unless it was like when the Radicals first came in, but I don't think that would be it.
Here, McMahon. Bret Hart keeps pounding him. He's going to pound him into oblivion. And then, whoa.
And a hard right in by Shawn Michaels.
All right, we got under 17 minutes left here.
Michaels with a lunge and Michaels paid.
Now finally Vince and Lawler are probably like are finally starting to mention, hey, there's no fall now, so now you're really getting to the point where one fall is probably going to be the decider. And I think for us, like, confirmation of that was when it hit 30 minutes. I'm like, yeah, it's definitely going to be 0-0. We definitely knew it was going to be a tie. That was never any doubt. But confirmation that it would be 0-0 came pretty early when they just the pace they were working.
Look at the time factor. You're at a point in this match now where
Oh, and he took out Jose. Got his own guy. Look at Brett's happy. Mans are booing. Look at Blassie there next to Stu. That's so awesome. What a sight. We got Blassie, Stu, and Gorilla Monsoon all within like 20 feet of each other. Oh, Jose down again. 2 bumps.
Careening into those steel steps.
Fucking help Grandpa. He's all wrapped up in the cord. There we go.
that Bret Hart did. But this is
Here Brett's stepping over Jose. Right in front of Vlad. The seats this guy gets.
Lothario's got no business being at ringside.
He certainly does. He's a trainer of Shawn Michaels and a licensed one at that.
He's an old windbag.
He's an old windbag.
Bret Hart.
Oh my God.
Look at that look. Wait a minute. Screaming at Jose. What do you say to him?
Get out of the way. Pops.
Jose Lothario. May need a little medical attention after this one is over as well.
Sharpshooter time.
I think you're right.
Sharpshooter time.
I think it's time. Bret Hart with Michaels now. Belly to belly.
Look at Brett
Hart is not finishing cover. 1, 2,
with the Ken Shamrock belly to belly.
he did not get him.
Still working on that lower back.
can't remember when we watched WrestleMania 13. I think we watched that last year. But now that we've knocked out WrestleMania 12, this coming Thursday night, it's going to be a later night one, scheduled for 11 Eastern. We're going to be watching WrestleMania 1. And after that, we've done all of them. We've done all the classics we've done 1 through 22. Yeah, well, yeah, no shit, Lawler. Hmm. Yeah, Brett is not setting up that. I could almost tell that that suplex was going to be countered. Now Brett's going to dive here. Yeah, I bet you would, Lawler.
And look at this, Brett. Listening to the count. He's either go after him, too tired to go after him. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, he's not.
And Brett does a little dive there. He would do those sometimes. Brett wasn't much of a flyer, but he'd dive on you sometimes. He'd dive over the top rope sometimes, too. I like how Brett was like, fuck it, let's just leave him there. If I was Brett, I would have put him in the sharpshooter for the entire time Earl was... Yeah, how come nobody's ever done that? Like, Brett could have put Sean in the sharpshooter the entire time while Earl's counting. And then when Earl gets to 9, Brett lets go and runs and dives in the ring. Match over. If Brett would have talked to me before this match, he would have walked out of the WrestleMania with the title. He never called. I could have told him what to do. Yeah. Vince. All right, approaching 11 minutes left. Now they're laying him in. Brett, God, I love Brett's punches. He's punching down, too. Like, Sean's got no leverage. And this is an execution-style punch. And I just kicked him right in the face. He's, look at him. I love that. Because that's 96 Sean doing that. That'd be fine for DX Sean, but...
I don't think that's what he's saying at all. I think Michaels is out.
His face.
Submission again. More pressure applied to the back area as well as the chin. The look on those faces. Either one of these.
It's an Iron Man match for Earl, too. At least he's not taking bumps, though. I'm surprised that they've never done something like a second referee takes over at the 30-minute mark just to assure that you have a focused referee. But I don't think WWE wants focused referees. Kurt and Brett in a Iron Man match, yeah. Would have been a beautiful thing. But I can live with not getting Angle and Brett because we got Angle and Shawn. And so at least we got that. And honestly, you know, if we got Angle and Brett, people might have preferred the Angle and Shawn matches anyway. So I can live with not getting Angle and Brett, even though I wish we got it, because at least we got Shawn and Angle. I can honestly live without Sting and Taker, too, because Sting and Taker never became a dream match until 97 when Sting became Crow Sting. Nobody gave a shit about Sting versus Taker when he was Surfer Sting. So it's not like they had like 20 years. Well, I guess they kind of did. 97 to 2017. But I can kind of live without that one, too. I'm okay with it. So that photographer that's often there at WWE events, right there with the camera in the purple hat, he's on the other side of the guardrail, but he's often at ringside. So I don't know why he's got to be on the guardrail side for this. And he's got a grab. I wonder what happened to those shots. I would love to see his pictures from this event, from his vantage point. Shawn's going to do it. Nope. Double close on. I thought we were going to get Shawn's big leaping forearm. We got Goldberg and Undertaker in that match. I never really wanted that one, to be honest. Big superplex. The Bret Hart superplexes were always classics. They were always a sign that the match was getting crazy. Michaels can't move. Jesus, Vince. Here we go, sharpshooter. Put him in the sharpshooter for 6 minutes. Yep, Shawn's fighting his way out of it. Ooh, kicking Bret right in the face. Jeez. Figure four, smart. Oh, he's... Nope. Boston Crab kind of looks like a sharpshooter. Couldn't Bret just grab his other leg and hook it around and... Wow. All right, we've got 5 minutes left, just about, in regulation. Nope, he was not in position for the elbow. Shawn was faced the wrong way anyway. Drop kick. Oh. Brett loved that bump. He just looks so fucking painful. And there's Sean with his forearm nip-up combo that the camera misses, of course. Just a face stomp. Feels like that should be illegal. Yeah. He's going for a moonsault, right? Nope. Double axe. Brett's trying to survive. Now the fans are kind of getting, you can kind of tell now. I remember watching this. I'm like, this is it. I'm watching the end of Brett's run here. At the time, I wasn't even sure if he'd ever win the title again. He'd win it 2 more times. Brett kicks out of the elbow. Can't keep Brett down. Gut wrench. Michaels, he should. I don't remember if he does in this match. I feel like he should bust out his teardrop suplex. 2-minute warning, yeah. Moonsault. There's a moonsault. Yeah, because you would think if Brett can just not be beat, he'd retain the title, and that's what Brett thought. I love that Sean is totally on the offensive here, and Brett's just kicking out, kicking out, kicking out. Now, what's cool about this, the way Brett is about to apply this sharpshooter here, this is the finish of their Survivor Series 1992 match. It's the same thing. Also the finish to Brett and 1-2-3 Kid on Raw, that Raw match in 94. This is the finish. It's Kid coming off the top rope, and Brett catches him in the sharpshooter, just like Sean's about to here. Got him. Now, they should have had rules in place, like if it's a tie and someone is in a submission hold as the clock runs out, then you immediately start sudden death at that moment. Listen to me, like a Bret Hart fan, trying to excuse this. Because if sudden death started at the end of this countdown, then Shawn would lose and Bret would be champion. Instead, you gave him time to recover. And the Gorilla's here. Was he out there the whole time for that? And Bret gets his belt back. And Bret got to touch it one more time. Gorilla's telling Earl.
Monsoon talking to the officials. Howard Finkel, ring announcer. Earl Hebner, the official.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. The 60-minute time limit has expired.
However,
This match has been ordered to continue.
and that's when you knew for sure that Sean. I mean, Brett's kind of right. He's like, you guys made such a big deal about 60 minutes. Why didn't you say there was going to be a sudden death rule before we started this? Just so we know, like, nobody asked what to do in the event of a tie. Nobody thought there would be a tie. Like, I feel that's unfair to the competitors here. Brett, if you're kissing it, now he throws it down.
That's why Shawn Michaels agreed to those terms, but now all Bret Hart has to do, I believe, is finish off Michaels. Gorilla Monsoon, would have been a conversation there, but meanwhile, Michaels writhing in pain. Michaels was hanging on by a thread.
This is the first time Gorilla screwed Brett.
Miracle that he hung on and did not submit to that extraordinary maneuver applied by Bret Hart. Here we go.
I can tell you right now, Bret Hart does not like this decision, and he's going to take it out on Shawn Michaels. He'll make sure it works.
Was applied.
Yeah, I mean, Brett's going, I mean, that's smart. At least he's going right at him. I mean, I just locked that sharpshooter in again.
And look at this. Bret Hart driving the knee in. I applaud Roddy Piper for wanting to have a decision. However, I would question that wisdom given the condition of Michaels. Michaels would just stay out.
Big backdrop. Yeah, I guess it was Piper was the original one, says there will be a winner no matter what. So I guess they kind of said that. But an Iron Man match does not guarantee a winner. You're putting a time limit on it. So
Bret Hart knows it.
you got to have a overtime policy in place for these things.
Shawn Michaels, you're right. I don't think you'll
Not just make it up as you go.
pin him.
Michaels now.
Brett shouldn't have lost this. Brett should be champion still today. He should have never lost. Should have retired as champion. There should be no WWE. Brett just won everything. And there's the first super kick that Sean is too beaten up to capitalize on.
Fatigued Michaels can't cover it.
I think Brett beats Sean to his feet here.
Michaels out of nowhere. Michaels out of nowhere.
And Brett's super rattled. He just ate Sean's finisher, so even though he's kind of getting up, he thinks it's Christmas.
One of Shawn Michaels' opponents get hit with a super kick and then beat Shawn Michaels to his feet. Impossible. But we may see it here. We did. No, it's not over. He's not up yet.
It's not over. This capacity crowd buzzing. They never
Come on, go, Sean.
like this.
There he's lined up.
Wait a minute. Michaels
Ugh,
sends it.
it's like a dagger in my heart. I legitimately don't like. There's Sean's parents. I legitimately don't like watching Bret Hart get pinned. It's like watching a cat get run over by a car or something. I don't like it. I don't like it. Way to go, boy toy. The boy toy hood dream has come true. Now, this is the part where Brett claims that Sean said, get the fuck out of the ring. I don't believe it. No, what Sean is telling Earl there, he's telling Earl to wait. They needed Brett to see him give the title to him. So when Earl is going to give the title to Sean, Sean tells Earl to chill. Wait until Brett's watching. That's the whole point of this. Is for this moment right here. See? Now Earl gives it to him. So when Brett tells the story of Sean said, get the fuck out of the ring, he said no. He was saying, wait until Brett is watching to give me the title. Earl fucked up at WrestleMania 6 too. He tried to give Warrior both belts, and Warrior shoved him back in his face. He's like, no, you idiot. Hogan's supposed to give it to me. So it's the same thing here. I don't believe for a second that Sean told Brett to get the fuck out of the ring. That did not happen.
Finding his champion of all time, witnessing Shawn Michaels. The boyhood dream has come true.
I feel like Sean isn't feeling the emotion he was hoping he would for this. Like, he's trying very hard to cry right now, but he's not. I think this is a great moment for him, but maybe deep down he was thinking, like, I thought it would feel better. I don't know. I mean, this is a great shot of him here. He looks great with the title, doesn't he? Like, even here, I remember, I think he struggles to get the belt on because it has the snaps. And I think Sean, just right from the word go, I feel like Sean was frustrated with his title run. Like, from the moment he won it. Like, Earl can't snap it. And Sean's like, all right, enough's enough. He's like, forget it. Just pushes Earl. He looks good with the belt. I love that title. I didn't dislike Sean in 96, far from it, but I was way more Team Brett. I don't know if Sean was legitimately mad there, that little stomping thing he did, if he was mad that the belt fell off. He's like, God damn it, or what? Nope, now I got to do my Shawn Michaels stripper pose. I've been out here so long, my theme music is looping over. It's got the looks that drive girls wild, guys. What a weirdo. Yeah, he totally dissed Earl, man, didn't he? He acknowledged Josh right after he won. I think he gave Jose a big smooch. I think Jose got in there and he gave him a hug, I think. But Sean's in there by himself celebrating. Sean didn't need a manager anyway. It was weird how he had went from Sherry to Jose Lothario. Yeah, they would do the big taping the following night. So after this grueling match, Sean had to do 4 shows, a four-show taping, where they set up Good Friends, Better Enemies. And Sean wrestled Lawler. He would wrestle Lawler the following night, but it wouldn't air for a couple weeks. But he would wrestle him on the next set of TV tapings, which they aired or they taped on Monday. And they would air that match, I think 2 weeks later, and then Nash was on commentary and attacked Sean and all that. So not only did Sean work an Iron Man match, he had a match the next night. There's Dallas and Blade. Look at Stu. Oh, let's watch the video package. I've been uploading those shorts, you know. I've had enough of this song, if you know what I mean. They're not going to have the whole lyrics here, are they? No. Okay, good. I appreciated, in 1996, WWE's ability to produce a video package at the end of the show showing you the highlights of that show. I was like, yeah, that's pretty good. Bowl cut boy. Oh, Mark Morrow. There's Mark Morrow. And the big tombstone. God, Goldust came in so fast. Adios, Hellfire. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks to everybody if you're peacing out before the end of this video package. I just want to watch the whole thing. for reminiscing purposes. Oh, God, and there's that kick Chimmel took. My God. I love the cut transition to black and white randomly. And there's the sharpshooter. See the way those three guys back there are just standing up staring? Like, who are they? They crack me up. Oh, they made me rewatch the pin. Thanks. 2 daggers in the heart. The boyhood dream. And Shawn was now the champ, and he's got to carry that title throughout 1996. Sans Click members, as Hall and Nash would be gone, Triple H would be punished, Waltman would leave. He had nobody, man. Nobody at all. Wow. Well, we finally knocked out WrestleMania 12. I'm glad we got to that one. Thanks again for hanging out with us tonight. Keep in mind, we're going to be here tomorrow night to watch Raw together, as we are on the Go Home Raw tomorrow. Roman Reigns is booked for the show. Link is already up on the channel, so you can save that for tomorrow. And the next time we'll be here for Classic Watch Along will be Thursday night. We have 2 videos on Thursday. We'll be live for WrestleMania 41 predictions. And then later that night, we're going to stay up late and we're going to watch WrestleMania 1 right here. So the links to all this stuff is up, along with the Hall of Fame Watch Along and all that stuff. So I'll put the rest of them up for WrestleMania week this evening. And it's going to be a fun one. So here we go. Starting tomorrow, WrestleMania week is here. You guys have a great night. Thanks as always. And I'll be catching you tomorrow for Raw. Peace.